Chapter 201. However, before Zhao Tianyu could finish his threatening words, Jade-faced Wolf Lord grabbed him by the neck. Jade-faced Wolf Lord snorted, "Meet again? From your tone it sounds like you want to pick a fight with us next time?" Jade-faced Wolf Lord casually threw Zhao Tianyu to the side of the lightning volcano. A loud explosion resounded. The lightning volcano was formed by the accumulation of lava over the years, and its temperature was unimaginable. Zhao Tianyu felt like he was thrown into a furnace, and his body was scalding hot. He screamed miserably as he scurried around like a rat on fire. The Scarlet Flame Divine Sect and the surrounding forces were dumbfounded. Even Du Dalei jumped in fright. Under the Scarlet Flame Divine Sect's experts' frantic efforts, the flames on Zhao Tianyu's robe were finally extinguished. The handsome and well-dressed Zhao Tianyu's robe was now in tatters, and his body was burned in many places. Even his hair was burnt. Zhao Tianyu looked at Jade-faced Wolf Lord with shock and anger. Shame, anger, and killing intent. Seeing the killing intent on Zhao Tianyu's face, Jade-faced Wolf Lord sent Zhao Tianyu flying with a slap. Zhao Tianyu screamed miserably as he crashed to the ground. His meridians were shattered, and he was barely alive. Senior brother. The Scarlet Flame Divine Sect's experts were dumbfounded. Du Dalei's mouth was dry. One had to know that Zhao Tianyu wasn't just the Scarlet Flame Divine Sect's chief disciple. He was also the sect chief's personal disciple. Even Du Dalei wouldn't dare to do such a thing. But thinking of Jade-faced Wolf Lord's identity, Du Dalei's mouth was filled with bitterness. A short while later, the Scarlet Flame Divine Sect's experts carried Zhao Tianyu away. At this time, the lightning volcano stopped erupting. The other force's disciples left with complicated expressions. Lu Yiping kept the Sun Fusang tree piece into the cauldron of heaven and earth, and the eye of lightning punishment appeared on his forehead. He looked at the space at the bottom of the thunder volcano, but other than lava there was nothing. "Wait for me here." Lu Yiping's figure flickered as he entered the lightning volcano. Du Dalei was shocked. The temperature inside the lightning volcano was terrifying. His master had said that even a peak late-stage realm lord wouldn't dare to enter. Even a peak late-stage planar lord would not be able to withstand the temperature. After Lu Yiping entered the space at the bottom of the thunder volcano, he took a step and directly sank into the magma at the bottom. Then he continued to walk down. Half an hour later, just as Du Dalei was about to speak, a figure walked out of the thunder volcano. It was Lu Yiping. Seeing Lu Yiping come out unscathed, Du Dalei was shocked. "Master, how is it?" Taurus Longjiao asked as he approached. Lu Yiping shook his head. "I only found a few pieces of Fusang tree. These pieces of Fusang tree were found at the bottom of the thunder volcano. Although there were other things at the bottom of the thunder volcano, they were of no use to him. Therefore he didn't bother to collect them. Let's go back first." Lu Yiping looked at the sky. It was already noon, and Che Guohua should be back by now. Thus, Lu Yiping and the others retraced their steps. When they returned to the wooden house, Che Guohua had yet to return. After waiting for another 2 hours, there was still no sign of Che Guohua. Du Dalei couldn't help feeling uneasy. His master had said that he would be back at noon, and now 2 hours had passed. Jade-faced Wolf Lord frowned. "Did your master say where he went?" "No." Du Dalei shook his head. "Master is missing a material to refine pills. He only said that he went out to look for it. He said he would be back at noon." They waited for another hour. Suddenly, a subtle energy fluctuation came from the south of the thunder volcano. Although it was far away, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao could still sense it. It was obvious that there were planar lords fighting, and one of them was using a lightning-type secret art. Lu Yiping's eye of lightning punishment appeared between his brows. Through his eye of lightning punishment, he saw an old man being chased by 3 people somewhere in the south of the thunder volcano. Jade-faced Wolf Lord and Lu Yiping had described Che Guohua's appearance, and there was no doubt that the old man was Che Guohua. "Your master is being chased by others. He is now at the south of the thunder volcano," Lu Yiping said to Du Dalei. "What?" Du Dalei exclaimed in shock. "Let's go over there now." Lu Yiping immediately led Jade-faced Wolf Lord and Du Dalei away through space. Jade-faced Wolf Lord and Du Dalei felt the scenery in front of them change. When they came to a stop, they were already miles away from the wooden house. Then the two of them saw Che Guohua being chased in front of them. Che Guohua was fleeing in their direction when he suddenly saw 4 people in front of him. He jumped in fright, but when he saw Du Dalai and Jade-Faced Wolf Lord, he was pleasantly surprised. Master Jun! He increased his speed and ran toward Jade-Faced Wolf Lord. Soon Che Guohua arrived before Lu Yiping and the others. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord frowned when he saw the 3 people chasing after Che Guohua. They were obviously from the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands. How did Che Guohua offend the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands? In the Divine Land, the hell-suppressing divine nation was the strongest of the 10 superpowers, while the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands was ranked 3rd. Although the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands was ranked 3rd, the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands had always been a mysterious force. Usually, the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands was in a state of lockdown, preventing outsiders from entering. Even the hell-suppressing divine nation of the Forbidden Lands was wary of them. The 3 people were experts from the divine nation of the Forbidden Lands. Like Che Guohua, they were all early-stage plain lords. The 3 of them were dressed in loose dark purple robes with a specially made cloak that covered most of their faces. This was the standard attire of the Forbidden Lands. Almost all of the experts of the Forbidden Lands were dressed in this manner. The sudden appearance of Lu Yiping and the others surprised the 3 of them. Hand over the thing. One of them looked at Che Guohua and said coldly. Che Guohua did not reply. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord's curiosity was piqued. What did Che Guohua have that made the 3 experts of the Forbidden Lands pursue him so relentlessly? Another expert from the Forbidden Lands snorted. What's the point of talking nonsense with him? Just attack. Then he added, whoever dares to stop us will die. His palm struck out at Che Guohua as soon as the words left his mouth. Amidst the palm force there was a purple glow. Upon closer inspection, this purple glow was formed from mysterious runes, exuding a sorrowful energy. This was the Forbidden Land's ultimate technique. The purple symbol Heaven's Sorrow Palm. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord's palm met the attack head-on. A loud boom resounded. This Forbidden Land's expert was only an early-stage plain lord. How could he be Jade-Faced Wolf Lord's opponent? In an instant, the Forbidden Land's expert staggered back. When he finally stopped several li away, blood spurted out from his mouth. The other 2 experts were shocked. One of them looked at Jade-Faced Wolf Lord's icy jade-like palm and exclaimed, "This is the Ice Jade Divine Art. You're from the Jade Fan Gate." Chapter 202. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord frowned when he saw the group of experts flying over. One of them had a strong aura that was no weaker than his own. What exactly did Che Guohua have that the Divine Kingdom would send so many experts over? Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were also surprised. When the 3 of them saw the newcomers, they hurried over to greet them. Lord Ruler. The 3 of them greeted the tall middle-aged man leading the group. The middle-aged man was none other than the Divine Kingdom's ruler. He was also the expert whose aura was no weaker than Jade-Faced Wolf Lord. What's going on? The other party's gaze swept over Lu Yiping's group and asked. It's the Jade Fan Gate. One of them quickly answered. The Divine Kingdom's ruler Guochao exclaimed in surprise, Jade Fan Gate. His gaze landed on Jade-Faced Wolf Lord and he asked, You are? Jade-Faced Wolf Lord. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord did not hide his identity. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord. The faces of the experts from the Divine Kingdom tightened. The Divine Kingdom's ruler Guochao looked at Jade-Faced Wolf Lord with a solemn expression and said, So your fellow Taoist Jade-Faced Wolf Lord? He then cupped his fists and said, Please don't interfere in this matter. Our Divine Kingdom will be eternally grateful. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord was surprised to see the Divine Kingdom's ruler Guochao lowering his stance. It seemed like Che Guohua's treasure was more important to the Divine Kingdom than he had expected. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord shook his head. Che Guohua is an old acquaintance of mine. I can't ignore this matter. Guochao's face sank. Suddenly, a cold voice came from the horizon. Since that's the case, kill all 5 of them and retrieve the treasure for me. Yes, Lord. Guochao Qing replied respectfully when he heard Huang Xiaolong's voice. As soon as he finished speaking, Huang Xiaolong sent a palm strike at Jade-Faced Wolf Lord. At the same time, he shouted to the other experts of the Divine Kingdom, Kill Che Guohua and the other 3. Guo Chao also used the purple talisman Heavenly Sorrow Palm. However, the purple talisman Heavenly Sorrow Palm was powered by his peak late-stage Plain Lord strength. The number of purple talisman rays increased to several hundred. The purple talisman Divine Kingdom's purple talisman shone even more brightly. Wherever the palm force passed, there was a faint whimpering sound that shook one's soul. Guo Chao's purple talisman Heaven Sorrow Palm was undoubtedly more than 100 times stronger than that Divine Nation expert's. Jade-faced Wolf Lord did not dare to be careless. He pushed the Ice Jade Divine skill to the limit and went up to meet the attack. At this time, the other experts of the Forbidden Land also attacked Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, Che Guohua and Du Dalai. Just as Che Guohua and Du Dalai were about to make their move, they saw the experts from the Forbidden Land stop abruptly. Then, without any warning, their bodies shattered one after another. That's right, it shattered like glass. His head, neck, torso, and 4 limbs all burst apart inch by inch. Blood floated in the air, but surprisingly it didn't splash onto the ground. Seeing this miraculous scene, not only Du Dalai, but even Che Guohua was stunned. Guo Chao, who was fighting with Jade-faced Wolf Lord, was also stunned. Huh! In the distant horizon, the voice that had previously ordered Guo Chao to kill Lu Yiping and the other 4 exclaimed in surprise, "Absolute stillness." Absolute stillness was different from space-time stagnation. "Who are you?" His voice was solemn. Lu Yiping suddenly reached out with one hand, and a giant golden hand appeared. The giant golden hand tore through space, piercing deep into the distant horizon. A furious voice rang out, followed by a deafening explosion. Subsequently, Che Guohua, Du Dalai, and the others saw a black-robed man wearing a ghost mask being pulled out by the giant golden hand. In the blink of an eye, the black-robed man was brought before them. "Lord!" Guo Chao looked at the black-robed man with disbelief. At the same time, he looked at Lu Yiping with fear in his eyes. The black-robed man's strength was unfathomable. Even their Forbidden Land's great ancestor was no match for his palm strike. But now, this black-robed man was pulled out by this blue-robed young man without any resistance. Guo Chao even forgot that he was fighting with Jade-faced Wolf Lord. In his distraction, Jade-faced Wolf Lord's palm landed on his chest. The black-robed man looked at Lu Yiping with the same fear in his eyes. "You're the Saint Devil Master, Lord Lu Yiping?" Ignoring his injuries, Guo Chao looked at Lu Yiping with a trembling voice. Lu Yiping did not answer. Instead, he looked at the black-robed man with indifferent eyes. His hand clenched in the air, and the ghost mask on the black-robed man's face shattered, revealing a middle-aged man's face. Similar to Ziyin, who Huang Xiaolong had met in the Taihua Buddhist sect, this middle-aged man had a strange purple mark at the corner of his eyes. Purple Extreme Devil Tribe. Lu Yiping's voice was cold. Everyone present could hear the thick killing intent in Lu Yiping's voice. "You're Lu Yiping? Lu Yiping, since you know about our Purple Extreme Devil Tribe, you should know that our Purple Extreme Devil Tribe was the strongest ancient devil tribe." The middle-aged man suppressed the fear in his heart and said solemnly, "The strongest ancient devil tribe?" Lu Yiping snorted. "Wasn't the strongest ancient devil tribe the Eternal Tribe?" The middle-aged man was stunned. "Not only do I know about your Purple Extreme Devil Tribe, but I also know that your Purple Extreme Devil Tribe has submitted to the Yinyang Boar race." Lu Yiping said coldly. "Yinyang Boar race?" Guo Chao, Jade-faced Wolf Lord, and the others had no impression of the Yinyang Boar race. However, Jade-faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua were shocked when they heard that the middle-aged man in front of them was an expert from the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe. The middle-aged man looked at Lu Yiping in shock, as if he did not expect Lu Yiping to know about the Yinyang Boar race. Since the ancient times, the Yinyang Boar race's experts had not set foot in this star field. So how did this Saint Devil Master know about them? That's right. Our Purple Extreme Devil Tribe has submitted to the Yinyang Boar race, and is now working for the Yinyang Boar race. The middle-aged man said solemnly, "Lu Yiping, there's no harm in telling you. Many powerful ancient races and sects have submitted to the Yinyang Boar race. The Yinyang Boar race's strength is not something you can imagine. I know you're not weak, but your strength is no different from an ant to the Yinyang Boar race's experts. Not to mention the Yinyang Boar race. Even our Purple Extreme Devil Tribe can easily crush you to death." "Is that so?" Lu Yiping clenched his fist. and the middle-aged man's body exploded bit by bit. Like a tomato, the middle-aged man's body exploded bit by bit, and blood splattered out from his body. The middle-aged man could clearly feel his body being crushed bit by bit, and the inhuman pain made him scream in agony. Guo Chao's face paled at the sight. Just as Guo Chao was about to flee, Taurus Longjiao grabbed him from the void. Taurus Longjiao squeezed Guo Chao's body, crushing Guo Chao into pieces. When Guo Chao was crushed, the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's expert also exploded, followed by his godhead and soul. Even though Jade-Faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua knew Lu Yiping wouldn't do such a thing to them, their faces paled. They didn't know why Lu Yiping hated the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe so much, but this method was a little too bloody and cruel. After crushing the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe's middle-aged man to death, Lu Yiping's gaze fell on Che Guohua, and he asked, "Why did the Divine Nation's people want to kill you?" Chapter 203. Upon hearing Lu Yiping's question, Che Guohua snapped out of his daze and hurriedly answered, "I originally wanted to enter the Forbidden Land to look for a pill refinement ingredient, but I found this instead." He stretched out his hand and a black object appeared in his palm. This black object was the size of 2 thumbs and was square in shape. It looked like a black gemstone, but it did not have any luster. Moreover, it had an astonishing devouring power that seemed to devour the surrounding light, causing the surroundings to darken significantly. Lu Yiping stretched out his hand and the black object flew into Lu Yiping's hand. Lu Yiping looked at the black object in bewilderment. Taurus Longjiao also looked at the black object in bewilderment and said, "What kind of demonic creature is this? Its demonic nature is so strong." Both he and Lu Yiping could see that this demonic creature had yet to mature. If it already had such demonic nature before it matured, it would be even more terrifying once it matured. Che Guohua also said, "When I obtained this object, I almost turned demonic. Fortunately, I had a Buddhist treasure on me that allowed me to regain my senses." His face was filled with lingering fear. This object was cultivated by the Purple Extreme Demon Tribe? Taurus Longjiao asked solemnly. The Forbidden Land could not cultivate such a demonic creature. In fact, they wanted to kill me not only for this demonic creature. Che Guohua continued, "I discovered that there is a secret prison behind the Forbidden Land's divine capital. There are many Jiuqian Netherworld prison, and even divine earth experts imprisoned inside. Moreover, they are all experts at the level of a plain lord." Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and Jade-Faced Wolf Lord were all surprised. Back then, 2 of my Purple Lightning Palace's ancestors were imprisoned inside. Che Guohua said. Hearing this, Lu Yiping asked, "Is Huang Yuandong imprisoned inside?" Che Guohua was stunned, then nodded, "Yes, Huang Yuandong and another ancestor of my Purple Lightning Palace are imprisoned inside. However, I am too weak to save them." Lu Yiping was overjoyed. He finally found Huang Yuandong's whereabouts. It turned out that Huang Yuandong had been imprisoned in this forbidden land. No wonder there had been no news of his descendants for so many years. "Take us there now," Lu Yiping said. Now he couldn't wait to find out how Huang Yuandong had obtained the good fortune jade disc. Without further ado, Che Guohua led Lu Yiping and the others to the secret prison located at the back mountain of the divine capital. The Forbidden Lands were adjacent to the snow-listening divine nation. Soon they entered the Forbidden Lands. The Forbidden Lands were normally sealed off, and there were millions of soldiers stationed at the borders. However, Lu Yiping and the others didn't bother concealing their auras. When they encountered an army, they immediately attacked. When Taurus Longjiao saw that the Jade-Faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua were fighting in a refined manner, he immediately took out the Kuanpeng and turned it back to half the size of the Kuanpeng Divine Sex Mountain Gate. The black army in front of them was swept clean in an instant. The sky was clear. Light reappeared. The Jade-Faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua stared at the Kuanpeng that was as big as many mountains in Taurus Longjiao's hand. Du Dalai was stunned. This was the first time they had seen such a huge fish. After sweeping clean the army of millions, Lu Yiping and the others encountered fewer obstacles. Along the way, whenever they encountered experts from the Forbidden Lands, Taurus Longjiao would wave the little fish in his hand. The Jade-Faced Wolf Lord looked at the Kuanpeng with a trace of pity. However, the Kuanpeng's vitality wasn't just for show. If it were him, he would have been dead by now. After killing countless experts, Lu Yiping and the others finally arrived at the gods' capital of the gods' kingdom. Since the Forbidden Lands had pledged allegiance to the purple demon race, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao didn't show any mercy to the Forbidden Lands experts. Looking at the divine capital in front of them, the cauldron of heaven and earth appeared in Lu Yiping's hand. With Lu Yiping's power, the Khanate Supreme Treasure Cauldron of heaven and earth emitted layers of light. It expanded continuously until it was bigger than the divine capital in front of them. Then Lu Yiping swung the cauldron downwards. Boom! The cauldron of heaven and earth covered the divine capital with the force of Mount Tai. It was unknown how many li of the ground began to crack and sink. All the buildings in the divine capital were reduced to dust. As for the guards in the divine capital, they sank into the ground along with the ground. Blood spurted out, but it was drowned out by the rolling sand in the blink of an eye. The divine capital was originally covered with layers of formations, but with the swing of the cauldron, all of them scattered with the wind like paper. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and Du Dalai were speechless. The Forbidden Lands were the divine capital's third strongest super-divine nation. There were countless guards stationed in the divine capital, and there were even more plain lords in the imperial city. But with the swing of the cauldron, all the experts in the divine capital were annihilated. Not a single one managed to escape. They were all dead. Was this the power of the Saint Devil Master, the ancestor of lightning punishment, Lu Yiping? Lu Yiping retrieved the cauldron of heaven and earth. He looked at the flat ground in front of him and said, "Flat ground is more pleasing to the eye." Just now, the walls of the divine capital were hundreds of feet tall. Dark energy swirled around them as they stretched across the ground, blocking off many beautiful sceneries. Lu Yiping's gaze fell on the mountain range in the distance. "That's the divine capital's back mountain?" Che Guohua hurriedly answered. "Yes, that prison is under the back mountain." Just as Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the others were about to go over, Lu Yiping spoke, "No need." A bright light burst out from Huang Xiaolong's body as he punched out. In an instant, a giant golden fist imprint broke through space. This giant golden fist imprint was as big as a city. The golden light nearly blinded Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the others. Rumble! The giant golden fist imprint slammed into the divine capital's back mountain. The boundless mountain range was split open by the giant golden fist imprint. Mountain peaks crumbled one after another, splashing everywhere. The fist imprint was unstoppable. They pushed forward, smashed forward, and flattened everything in their path. Countless rocks flew into the sky, filling the sky. From afar it looked like a violent meteor shower. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the others were dumbfounded. The three of them stared at the blue-robed figure in front of them. Was he still human? No, was he still a god? Did a god have such majestic strength? One fist to topple a mountain, only I, Lu Yiping. As the golden fist imprint continued to flatten the mountain range in front of them, mountain peaks flew up, revealing a giant underground prison. The underground prison was even bigger than the god's capital. There were huge iron cages hanging from the ceiling, and inside the cages were imprisoned experts. These experts were all realm lords, and there were at least 100,000 of them. Just now, the golden fist print flattened the mountain range and killed many of the Forbidden Lands experts guarding the prison. However, there were still some who weren't hit. At this moment, they looked at the flattened mountain range and the empty space above them. They were dumbfounded. Chapter 204. The planar rulers imprisoned in the iron cages were all stunned. Everyone was stunned as they stared at the blue-robed figure walking towards them from afar. That figure was incomparably handsome, with an unparalleled temperament, and a pair of deep eyes that captivated others, yet resembled an ancient demon god. Lu Yiping stood with his hands clasped behind his back. His robes fluttered in the wind. He didn't have the slightest bit of strength, but his boundless aura towered above the heavens. It was as if all gods, Buddhas, immortals, ghosts, demons, and even sages were beneath his feet. Lu Yiping was the heavens, the ancestor of gods and the king of sages. Between heaven and earth no one spoke. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the others were also speechless. "Who are you?" After a long time, the prison guard's leader spoke in a trembling voice. His eyes were filled with fear. "Lu Yiping." Lu Yiping's indifferent voice sounded. The experts who were guarding the prison were shocked. "You're the holy demon's master?" The prison guard's voice trembled. Those imprisoned in the prison had been imprisoned for many years. Thus, they were unaware of the destruction of the Kuanping divine sect and demon dragon palace. However, many of them were experts from the holy demon era. Hearing that the blue-robed young man before them was the holy demon's master, they were shocked. The holy demon was a peerless expert who had been invincible for 3 eras. He had reigned supreme for 3 eras. The blue-robed young man before them was the Lord Holy Demon's master. In the holy demon era, the holy demon was a supreme existence. Lu Yiping looked at the prison guard's leader and said indifferently, "Everyone knows that I'm the holy demon's master, but they don't know that I'm the ancient era's venerable. The experts present felt as if a million bolts of lightning were exploding in their minds. Even Jade-Faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua and Du Dalai felt their minds exploding. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua stared at Lu Yiping in shock. Ancient era's venerable. Jade-Faced Wolf Lord's mouth twitched continuously. The ancient era's venerable. The most terrifying existence in the Myriad God era. The ancient era sovereign was not one of the top 10 experts of Myriad God, but he was above them. Legend had it that 6 of the top 10 experts of the Pantheon era had received his guidance. Even the master of Myriad Gods had received his guidance. Legend had it that the ancient era venerable was omnipotent. His skills in the 4 arts, alchemy, formations and medicine had all reached an inconceivable level. Legend has it that the primordial era sovereign was an ancient almighty being. Some even said that the primordial epic sovereign was an undying old monster from the primordial era. Some of the experts imprisoned in the prison were old antiques from the heaven battling era or even before that. Therefore, some of them didn't know who the saint demon was, but they knew about the ancient era sovereign. Hearing that the man in front of them was an ancient era sovereign, they were all shocked. If Lu Yiping had said that he was the ancient era sovereign at any other time, people would have doubted him or even spat out bubbles. But just now Lu Yiping had flattened a myriad of mountains with a single punch. The power he displayed was too unimaginable, so no one dared to doubt him. Amidst the silence, an expert imprisoned in the prison immediately knelt down emotionally and said, "I am an expert under the Lord Saint Demon. I beg the Lord of the Era Sovereign to save me. I am willing to sacrifice my life for the Lord." Immediately, another silver-haired old man imprisoned in the prison also knelt down. "I am Wuxia from the ancient era. I beg the Lord to save me. I am willing to follow by the Lord's side. I am willing to be at the Lord's beck and call." When everyone heard that the silver-haired old man was Wuxia from the heaven-battling era, they were all shocked. This was a terrifying devil with monstrous might from the nether prison. He was actually imprisoned here. While the other imprisoned experts were shocked by Wuxia's ferocious name, they also knelt down and begged Lu Yiping to save them. Some of them had been imprisoned here for tens of thousands of years, or even hundreds of thousands of years. In here there was no daylight and life was worse than death. The divine nation's experts guarding the prison looked at the kneeling experts with an ugly expression. However, none of these experts dared to reprimand them. At this time 2 wheel-shaped black and white blades appeared in Lu Yiping's hands. The black and white blades surged with black and white light, as if there were countless black and white suns floating within. The wheel of life and death. Some people exclaimed, "One of the ancient era sovereign's weapons." The wheel of life and death ruled over life and death. Legend had it that when the ancient era sovereign took out the wheel of life and death, the sky was black and the ground was white. Between the black and white, blood flowed like a river. And those whose lives were cut off by the wheel of life and death would fall for eternity, unable to enter the cycle of reincarnation. When everyone saw the wheel of life and death, they no longer dared to doubt Lu Yiping's identity as the ancient era sovereign. Many of the imprisoned experts who had not knelt down yet all knelt down. The experts guarding the prison were so frightened that their faces turned pale. All of them knelt down. "Lord Sovereign, please spare our lives. We are willing to submit to the Lord." The experts of the Forbidden Lands kept kowtowing and begging for mercy. Some were even scared to tears. Lu Yiping's eyes were cold. "Spare your lives? Since you know that I'm the ancient era sovereign, you should know that I hate the Inbora race the most. And all of you have submitted to the extreme purple demon race and the Inbora race. The experts of the Forbidden Lands trembled. Then, everyone saw the Wheel of Life and Death in Lu Yiping's hands flying out. When the Wheel of Life and Death flew out, the black wheel was above the white wheel. The sky turned black and the ground white. When the sky turned black and white, the experts of the Forbidden Lands saw their bodies being cut into two. Their upper bodies turned black and their lower bodies turned white. Blood flowed out. Between the black and white world, a river of blood flowed. When the experts of the Forbidden Lands fell to the ground, their last thought was that the legend was true. One by one, the experts of the Forbidden Lands fell to the ground like paddy fields blown by strong winds. In the end, tens of thousands of experts of the Forbidden Lands fell into the river of blood. The Wheel of Life and Death was still spinning. The black and white light continued to shine. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the imprisoned experts were shocked when they saw the river of blood flowing between the black and white world. The black and white light extended to the end of the world. The Wheel of Life and Death returned to Lu Yiping's hands. With the Wheel of Life and Death in his hands, Lu Yiping stood high in the sky like the supreme ruler of heaven and earth. The Wheel of Life and Death was still black and white. There was no trace of blood, no aura, but it was enough to send chills down one's spine. Lu Yiping's gaze was indifferent as he looked at the experts imprisoned in the cages. Some of these experts were from the Juqian, some from the Netherworld prison, some from the Divine Lands, and some from the surrounding plains. But now, all of them lowered their heads, not daring to look at Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping took a step forward and walked towards the cages. The Wheel of Life and Death was already back at some point. When Lu Yiping passed by each of the cages, the experts in the cages all trembled. Lu Yiping was like an emperor patrolling the world. Awesome! From this moment onwards, Lu Yiping is finally going to reveal his true strength. Chapter 205. Taurus Longjiao followed closely behind Lu Yiping. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and the other two did not dare to follow behind Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping's gaze swept across the cage, asking, "Which one of you is Violet Lightning Temple's Huang Yuandong?" Hearing Huang Yuandong's question, Huang Yuandong's heart skipped a beat. He quickly answered loudly, "Lord Venerable One, this lowly one is Huang Yuandong." Lu Yiping's gaze fell on a cage in the distance. Huang Yuandong had a head of white hair and was thin. Just like the others, he was wearing a white prison uniform. Lu Yiping took a step forward, arriving in front of Huang Yuandong's cage. The cage was made of extremely sturdy materials. Even if a peak late-stage lord of a world of existences attacked it with full force, it wouldn't budge. However, Lu Yiping only needed to swipe his hand across the cage, and it shattered into pieces. Huang Yuandong was dumbfounded. At this time, Lu Yiping took out the second Fortune Jade disc. Huang Yuandong stared at the Fortune Jade disc in Lu Yiping's hand. Astonished, "World-cleansing jade?" Lu Yiping asked, "Do you remember where you got this world-cleansing jade?" Huang Yuandong quickly answered, replying to Lord, "I found this world-cleansing jade in the Cave of the Fallen Gods." Oh, the Cave of the Fallen Gods. Lu Yiping was surprised. He knew about the Cave of the Fallen Gods. It was located in the far west of the Divine Lands. Lu Yiping looked at the white-haired, skinny, and tortured Huang Yuandong. A jade-green divine tree appeared in his hand. It was the divine tree of life nurtured by the spring of life. The divine tree of life flew up and hovered above Huang Yuandong. Life energy poured into Huang Yuandong's body. Huang Yuandong felt the vitality in his body recovering at an astonishing rate. His blood essence that was almost depleted started to replenish, and even his skin became lustrous and rosy. Soon, Huang Yuandong returned to his peak condition, even surpassing his peak condition. "Many thanks, Lord," Huang Yuandong said gratefully. "Lord, please save me. I'm willing to serve Lord. I'm willing to serve Lord tea and water." The other overlords begged Huang Yuandong. There were even people who shouted, "I'm willing to undress you, sir." Upon hearing the other parties shout, Lu Yiping's Dao heart almost became unstable. The 100,000 experts immediately looked at the old man who was about to undress. If their gazes could kill, the old man would have been riddled with holes. Just as Lu Yiping was about to open the cage, Taurus Longjiao said to Lu Yiping, "Master, let me do it." Lu Yiping nodded. Immediately, streams of astonishing golden energy surged out from Taurus Longjiao's body. Next, The golden energy around Taurus Longjiao's body trembled, and the iron cages holding the 100,000 experts were all shattered into pieces. He Xie and the other experts looked at Taurus Longjiao in shock. Could this be the legendary Qi of the eighth ox? Everyone looked at Taurus Longjiao with fear in their eyes. Taurus Longjiao's move had exceeded their imaginations. One had to know that they had been imprisoned in the iron cages for many years without being able to break open the cage. However, Taurus Longjiao's Qi of the eighth ox shattered all the iron cages. What kind of boundless power was this? What kind of powerful Qi of the eighth ox? After Taurus Longjiao shattered the iron cages, the tree of life in Lu Yiping's hand flew high into the sky. It suddenly expanded into a 10,000 zhang tall tree. Then a dark green light surged from its body. Life energy poured down like a waterfall and rushed into He Xie and the others' bodies. He Xie and the others soon experienced the same pleasure as Huang Yuandong. That kind of undying pleasure gave them the urge to go all out and fight. After everyone recovered to their peak condition, Lu Yiping retrieved the divine tree of life. The divine tree of life returned to Lu Yiping's palm and disappeared. Everyone came back to their senses and exchanged a glance. Then they all came before Lu Yiping and knelt down respectfully. They shouted in unison, "We greet the Lord." Their voices shook heaven and earth. The sound waves shook the divine nation's experts' corpses. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua, and He Xie stared blankly at the sea of people kneeling in front of them. Oh my God! These are the lords of 100,000 existences. Moreover, many of them were late-stage or even peak late-stage lords of existences. Not to mention a terrifying devil like He Xie. They were even more ancient than He Xie. Now, all of them had submitted to Lu Yiping, willing to serve Lu Yiping. Jade-faced Wolf Lord could see that these people were absolutely loyal to Lu Yiping. Take He Xie for example. Although he was a terrifying devil from the heaven-battling era, he was a man of his word. Since he said he was willing to serve Lu Yiping, then he was a man of his word. In the future, he would definitely be willing to lead Lu Yiping's horse. These people had been captured by the Purple Extreme Devil Tribe and the Divine Nation's experts and imprisoned here for many years. They had used all kinds of methods to torture them, but none of them had been able to make them submit. But now they were willing to serve Lu Yiping, willing to sacrifice their lives for him. Then again, Jade-faced Wolf Lord also knew that in this world, only the ancient era venerables had such power. Otherwise, no one would be able to subdue a devil like He Xie. Of course, this wasn't only because Lu Yiping had displayed his majestic strength, but also because Lu Yiping had rescued them from the Hell's prison. Lu Yiping had everyone stand up. Seeing that they were still wearing the Divine Nation's prison uniforms, he waved his hand and dark golden divine armors fell like rain in front of them. Everyone was dumbfounded. The dark golden divine armors in front of them were all acquired spiritual treasures. A low-grade acquired spiritual treasure was a low-grade one at the Lord of Life stage, a mid-grade one at the Lord of Life stage, a high-grade one at the Lord of Life stage, and a peak late-grade one at the Lord of Life stage like He Xie. Every piece of divine armor was covered with the silver dragon. The silver dragon's dragon might permeated the air, and a dragon's might that could surpass heaven and earth struck everyone's soul. Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Che Guohua and Huang Xiaolong felt their mouths go dry. The Ancient Era Venerables were indeed worthy of being called the Ancient Era Venerables. In one move, he brought out 100,000 sets of acquired spiritual treasure divine armors, and many of them were high-grade and even top-grade. Even the Divine Land and Zhouqian's super forces would find it hard to take out a single acquired spiritual treasure. Lu Yiping saw He Xie and the others standing there in a daze and he laughed, "Do you all want to keep wearing the prison uniforms? Put them on." He Xie and the others came to their senses. After thanking Lu Yiping, they took off their prison uniforms and put on the acquired spiritual treasure silver dragon divine armors. When He Xie and the others were wearing prison uniforms, they didn't exude any aura. Now that they had put on the acquired spiritual treasure silver dragon divine armors, their aura soared to the sky. Just the silver dragon engraved on the divine armors was enough to shake people's souls. "Now all peak late-stage Lord of Life stage step out," Lu Yiping said. Although He Xie and the others were confused, they still stepped out. There were a total of 100 of them. While everyone was still puzzled, Lu Yiping's hand glowed brightly, and the number of planar laws increased. With a wave of Lu Yiping's hand, These planar laws turned into a torrent that surged into He Xia and the others' bodies. Chapter 206. After the dimension laws entered He Xia and the rest's bodies, they merged with the dimension energy in their bodies. He Xia and the rest's aura started to rise. When it reached a certain limit, a strange sound came from He Xia and the rest's bodies. It was the sound of a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon. Light surged from He Xia and the rest's bodies, and a shocking aura swept out. Dimension Master. Jade-faced Wolf Lord felt the changes in He Xia and the rest's aura, and his face was filled with disbelief. He had never heard of anyone who could help others break through to the Dimension Master realm. Moreover, Lu Yiping helped 100 people break through to the Dimension Master realm at the same time. What was this? Was he a creation god? He could do it as he wished? Not to mention Jade-faced Wolf Lord, Huang Yuandong, and the rest. Even He Xia and the rest were in disbelief when they felt the changes in their bodies. They had been stuck at the peak late-stage Dimension Master realm for many years, and they knew how difficult it was to break through to the Dimension Master realm. However, Lu Yiping helped all of them break through to the Dimension Master realm in a short period of time. Now their entire bodies, whether it was their physical bodies or their souls, were transforming. During the transformation, the Dimension Master realm energy roared crazily in their bodies. After a long time, He Xia and the rest's aura finally stopped and stabilized. We thank Lord. He Xia and the rest knelt down and kowtowed excitedly. Lu Yiping's expression was calm as he asked He Xia and the rest to stand up. Subsequently, Lu Yiping and the rest left the place. Lu Yiping and the rest walked in front, while He Xia and the rest of the 100,000 Dimension Masters followed behind. Under the sunlight, the silver dragons on He Xia and the rest's divine armor seemed to have come alive. After leaving, they passed by some Forbidden Lands cities. When they encountered the Forbidden Lands armies, He Xia and the rest didn't hold back and directly used them as practice. How could these Forbidden Lands armies be a match for He Xia and the rest? They were tortured to death. He Xia and the rest had been imprisoned by the Forbidden Lands divine kingdoms and the purple extreme demon race for many years. Now that they encountered these Forbidden Lands armies, they were tortured to death. However, He Xia and the rest only attacked one person. Although they were strong, their attacks were limited. Therefore, Lu Yiping taught them the Great Void Lightning Formation and Soaring Dragon Formation. These two formations could be used by more than 10 people. The more people there were, the more powerful they would be. Once the Great Void Thunder Killing Formation and the Soaring Dragon Formation were used by the 100,000 men of the Black Demon tribe, they could encircle and kill dozens of experts of the same level. When He Xia's 100,000 men formed the Great Void Lightning Killing Formation, the sky was filled with lightning, forming a sea of lightning. Amidst the sea of lightning, the army of the Divine Kingdom in the Forbidden Lands fell like rain. Lu Yiping and the others flew towards the cave of the fallen gods. Since Jade-faced Wolf Lord and Che Guohua's matters were settled, the three of them bid farewell to Lu Yiping and returned to the Thunder Swarm Mountain. However, it was really inconvenient for him to have 100,000 plain monarchs following him around. Thus, Lu Yiping took out his primordial divine artifact, the Everlasting Star Palace, and kept the 100,000 plain monarchs inside. The Wuxia Star Palace could gather the power of the 9 heaven stars. Every corner of the palace was filled with the power of the Xiantian stars. Cultivating in the palace could not only strengthen one's physical body, but also greatly increase one's cultivation speed. Of course, while the 100,000 plain monarchs cultivated inside the Everlasting Star Palace, they could also help him refine the Everlasting Star Palace and transform it. Now, his Everlasting Star Palace was just a step away from transforming into a supreme grade innate supreme treasure. The Universe Cauldron was already a supreme grade innate supreme treasure. After keeping everyone in the Everlasting Star Palace, Lu Yiping only had He Xia, Ba Dao, Longgu, and Qiyu with him. Just like Taurus Longjiao had said, if there were any errands to run, He Xia and the others could do it for him. Since they were looking for the Fortune Jade Disc, other than He Xia and the others, Huang Yuandong was also leading the way. Lord, the West Oblast City is just ahead. Huang Yuandong pointed at the city ahead. The West Oblast City was the westernmost city of the Divine Land. Beyond the West Oblast City was the Cave of the Fallen Gods. Lu Yiping and the others walked into the city. The city was bustling with people. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of experts have appeared in the West Oblast city recently. I heard that a large group of people from the hell-suppressing divine nation entered the cave of the fallen gods yesterday. Not only the hell-suppressing divine nation's experts, but even the 7 Spirit Fox tribe and Dragon King sect's experts are here. The 9-star realm's 7 Spirit Fox tribe and Dragon King sect? That's right. It's the 9-star realm's 7 Spirit Fox tribe and Dragon King sect. And a realm master is here too. The hell-suppressing divine nation's ruler, Lord Duan Hong, was killed by a Saint Devil Master in the Eternal Demon Domain. Didn't the hell-suppressing divine nation seal their nation in fear? Not long after entering the West Oblast city, Lu Yiping and the others heard many disciples discussing the cave of the fallen gods. Heisya was surprised. The 7 Spirit Fox tribe and Dragon King sect? The 9-star realm was the closest realm to the Eternity Plane. Among the 17 realms of the Eternity Plane, the 9-star realm's strength ranked 3rd. The 7 Spirit Fox tribe and Dragon King sect were among the top 10 superpowers of the 9-star realm. Longu frowned when he heard that the Dragon King sect's experts were also here. More than 100,000 years ago, he was the Dragon King sect's young sect master. He was supposed to inherit the Dragon King sect's sect master position, but he was framed and expelled from the Dragon King sect. It's Princess Yuan Shan of the Carefree Divine Nation. Suddenly someone shouted. The crowd became restless. Lu Yiping and the others looked over and saw a fleet of carriages in front of them. In the middle of the fleet was a carriage pulled by phoenixes. Sitting in the carriage was a noble and somewhat arrogant beauty. The guards around her were all riding on unicorn beasts. In the Divine Lands, the Carefree Divine Nation was second only to the hell-suppressing Divine Nation, and ranked higher than the Forbidden Lands Divine Nations. The Carefree Divine Nation's 4th princess, Yuan Shan, was famous and talented. It was rumored that she was the disciple of a god-ranking expert from the Void Plane. Although she was only a princess of the Carefree Divine Nation, her cultivation was no weaker than many of the Carefree Divine Nation's ancestors. Seeing the arrival of the Carefree Divine Nation's 4th princess Yuan Shan, the surrounding male disciples were excited. Princess Yuan Shan, are you here to enter the cave of the fallen gods? I'm afraid so. Did some treasure appear in the cave of the fallen gods? I haven't heard anything about it. As the crowd discussed, the Carefree Divine Nation's fleet left. Lord, should we inquire about what happened in the cave of the fallen gods? Taurus Longjiao asked. Lu Yiping shook his head. No need to pay attention to them. As long as they don't hinder our search, it's fine. Thus, Lu Yiping and the others didn't linger. They left the West Province city and headed towards the cave of the fallen gods. The entrance to the cave of the fallen gods wasn't big. It was located at the edge of a cliff at the top of the mountain. There seemed to be a mysterious energy around the entrance. When Lu Yiping entered the cave of the fallen gods, a fleet of carriages followed behind. It was none other than the Carefree Divine Nation's fleet. The Carefree Divine Nation's Princess Yuan Shan's gaze fell on Lu Yiping. One of the Carefree Divine Nation's experts beside Yuan Shan said to Lu Yiping and the others, Gentlemen, I advise you to return. The treasures in the cave of the fallen gods aren't something people like you can covet. Otherwise, you'll lose your lives in vain. Chapter 207. Seeing the other party, a mere world master using a lecturing tone to persuade them, and Lu Yiping, Heisya sneered, Give up my life for nothing? Are you talking about a small shrimp like you? Princess Wu Yuan Shan frowned hearing this. You don't know what's good for you. The Carefree Divine Nation's expert looked at Heisya and laughed. You're talking about a small shrimp? Little guy, are you saying you're a giant? Speaking of this, the World Master surged and a claw reached out towards Heisya. Who is the small shrimp and who is the giant? You'll know soon enough. A giant palm imprint descended towards Heisya. The surrounding air currents surged violently. Seeing the other party's palm imprint coming at him without any mercy, Heisya didn't even look at it. He simply slapped his palm out and a giant curse seal flew out. This giant curse seal exuded a boundless aura of darkness and wickedness. The darkness curse seal instantly pierced through the other party's palm imprint and slammed into the Carefree Divine Nation's expert. The Carefree Divine Nation's expert was blasted away like a withered leaf in the cave of the fallen gods. His speed was astonishing as he crashed into a piece of land on the horizon. The land trembled violently as sand and stones rolled. Princess Wu Yuan Shan and the carefree divine nation's experts were shocked. Heisya curse! Princess Wu Yuan Shan exclaimed. Who are you to Heisya from 100,000 years ago? Heisya swept his gaze over the several hundred carefree divine nations experts before fixing his gaze on Princess Wu Yuan Shan. Do you still want to make a move? One of the experts beside Princess Wu Yuan Shan suddenly took a step forward and arrived in front of Heisya. His speed was extremely fast as he punched out at Heisya. It's just a Heisya curse. Even if you were Heisya himself, I could still kill you. The World Master roared. Moreover, his World Master had already reached 99 million units. This person's strength was comparable to Chi Aoshi from Heaven Battling City. Such a character could break through to the World Master realm at any time. If Heisya hadn't broken through to the World Master realm, it would be difficult for him to win against this person. Heisya looked at his opponent's fist power and suddenly punched out with his own fist. This time it was not the Black Heresy curse. When he punched out, the silver dragon on his silver dragon divine armor came to life and flew out with the force of his punch. Silver dragon shakes the sky. The power of the fist shook the heavens, and the silver dragon broke through the sky. With an unstoppable force, it instantly blasted through the opponent's fist and directly pierced through the opponent's chest. The silver dragon flew back into the black evil divine armor after it pierced through the opponent's chest. The carefree divine kingdom's expert stiffened on the spot, looking at the huge hole in his chest in disbelief. In the next moment, cracks started to appear all over his body. Plain Master. Princess Carefree Yuan Shan and the experts from Carefree Divine Nation paled. This unassuming skinny old man was actually a plain master. Another worryless Divine Kingdom's expert stepped forward, wanting to save the expert who had attacked earlier. However, the cracks on his body widened in an instant, and his flesh and blood splattered everywhere. Third senior brother. That Carefree Divine Kingdom's expert cried out in grief. He glared at Heisya and Lu Yiping. He's my third senior brother. We're from the Void Plane, and our master is Fu Songsheng. Fu Songsheng. Heisya, Ba Dao Longgu and Chi Yu's faces paled. God-ranking expert. Fu Songsheng was one of the God-ranking experts from the surrounding 17 planes. He was also one of the top 100 experts from the 17 planes. Princess Carefree Yuan Shan had taken him as her master, and she was Fu Songsheng's youngest disciple. The one Heisya killed earlier was Fu Songsheng's third disciple. That's right, my master is Fu Songsheng. A God-ranking expert. That expert glared hatefully at Heisya and sneered, Are you afraid? Are you regretting it? Let me tell you, my master is rushing over to the divine land. He'll be here in half a day. Just wait for your death. You'll find out what true fear is in this world. However, just as he finished speaking, the scenery in front of him changed. Taurus Longjiao pulled him in front of Huang Xiaolong. Taurus Longjiao squeezed the expert's neck. What Fu Songsheng? What Niao Songsheng? What Niao Songsheng? Your Grandpa Niao is afraid? Even if the primordial heavenly emperor came, this Grandpa Niao's hair wouldn't tremble. With that said, Taurus Longjiao tightened his grip, and the expert exploded. Fu Songsheng's fourth disciple dead. Princess Carefree Yuan Shan and the group of Carefree Divine Countries experts paled. Who are you? Yuan Shan was shocked and furious as she glared at Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao and the others. Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping answered calmly. Saint Devil's Master. Yuan Shan exclaimed in shock, but the group of Carefree Divine Countries experts retreated in fear. Yuan Shan had been cultivating in the Void World all year round, and she had only returned a few days ago. However, the Carefree Divine Countries experts had heard of Lu Yiping's name. Lu Yiping said to Yuan Shan, Wait for Fu Songsheng to come. If he wants to kill me, he can wait for me here. He then turned to Taurus Longjiao and the others. Let's go. Yuan Shan watched Lu Yiping's group leave with a gloomy expression. I didn't expect that person to be the Saint Devil's Master Lu Yiping. One of the Carefree Divine Countries ancestors said worriedly, Your Highness, I think we should forget about this matter. Lu Yiping is too terrifying. Yuan Shan's face sank, glaring angrily at the Carefree Divine Countries ancestor. You're saying that we should forget about my third and fourth senior brothers' deaths? But Liu Yiping, this person's strength is unrivaled. That carefree divine country's ancestor argued. But before he could finish his words, Yuan Shan slapped him across the face. Yuan Shan snorted coldly. He merely annihilated a small Kuan-Peng divine sect in Demon Dragon Palace. Even my eldest senior brother can easily do that. My master is an expert on the god ranking list. The power of an expert on the god ranking list isn't something ants like you can imagine. Every existence on the god ranking list has the power to shake the heavens. My master is ranked 79th on the god ranking list. One punch from him is enough to annihilate 10 Kuan-Peng divine sects. Although the Saint Devil was invincible in the Eternal Prime Plane, he was only ranked 96th on the god ranking list. Yuan Shan's cold voice reverberated through the fallen god's cave, echoing far and wide. Fu Songsheng's fourth disciple did not lie to Liu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others. At this time, Fu Songsheng was crossing the galaxy, heading towards the Eternal Prime Plane. Outside the Eternal Prime Plane was the boundless galaxy. A streak of light pierced through the galaxy's terrifying storm at an alarming speed, closing in on the Eternal Prime Plane. Inside the streak of light was Fu Songsheng, who looked to be in his 50s. He had a head full of black hair and a ruddy complexion. Fu Songsheng, who was rushing towards the Eternal Prime Plane, suddenly stopped. He took out his communication talisman and glanced at it. His eyes widened and his killing intent soared. You killed my disciples. Even that brat Saint Devil didn't dare to provoke me in the past, yet you dare to kill my disciples. Energy surged from Fu Songsheng's body, causing the surrounding galaxy's storm to roil. A short while later, Fu Songsheng's streak of light shot towards the Eternal Prime Plane at an even faster speed. Chapter 208. On a certain continent in the Cave of the Fallen Gods, the Seven Spirit Fox clan and the Dragon King sect's experts were flying towards the depths of the continent. The Seven Spirit Fox clan's patriarch and the Dragon King sect's sect master received the message talisman at almost the same time. The two of them took out their communication talismans and looked at it. Their expressions became strange. Father, what's wrong? Dragon King sect's young lord Long Yu asked when he noticed Long Daming's strange expression. Long Meng said solemnly, just now, there was news from the message talisman. Lord Fu Songsheng's third, fourth and fifth disciples also came to Godfall Cave. However, just now Lord Fu Songsheng's third and fourth disciples were killed. What? Both the experts of the Dragon King sect and the Seven Spirit Foxes were shocked. Hu Zhuo, the chief of the Seven Spirit Fox clan, said, I just received a message from the message talisman. It's about this too. Father, you mean Lord Fu Songsheng of the Divine List? Hu Mingcheng, the young master of the Seven Spirit Fox clan, asked in disbelief. Hu Zhuo glanced at his son and nodded. It's Lord Fu Songsheng. It wasn't just his son who didn't believe it. Even he didn't believe it when he saw the message through the talisman. Who is it? He actually dared to kill Lord Fu Songsheng's disciple. Dragon King sect's young sect master Long Yu exclaimed in shock. It's Liu Yiping, who's been rumored in the Hengyuan realm recently. Long Daming, the sect master of the Dragon King sect, said. Both the Seven Spirits Fox clan and the Dragon King Zhongzhong were greatly surprised. This Liu Yiping is unrivaled in the Eternity Plane. Does he think that he is unrivaled? How dare he provoke Lord Fu Songsheng? The Seven Spirit Fox patriarch Hu Zhuo shook his head and said, arrogant and ignorant. The Dragon King sect's young sect master, Long Yu, sneered. There are many frogs in the well like Liu Yiping. He thinks that the sky he sees is already the sky. The Seven Spirit Fox's young lord Hu Mingcheng frowned. Does that mean Liu Yiping is also in the Cave of the Fallen Gods? The Dragon King sect's young sect master Long Yu laughed, merely annihilating the Kuanping Divine Sect and the Demonic Dragon Palace. Such small fries are nothing in the 17 planes. With my father's strength and Uncle Hu Zhuo's strength, destroying the Kuanping Divine Sect and the Demonic Dragon Palace is just a snap of their fingers. Dragon King sect master Long Damon changed the topic and said, Ancient God Broken Dragon's secret trove is not far ahead. Then he said to his son, Long Yu, you and a few uncles seal the surrounding space. No one is allowed to approach. Once you approach, kill without mercy. The patriarch of the 7 spirit foxes, Wuxia, said to his son, Hu Mingcheng, "You and the other patriarchs will guard this place together." Long Yu, Hu Mingcheng, and the others nodded. Therefore, Long Daming and Wuxia led the other experts of the Dragon King sect, and the 7 spiritual foxes to continue flying forward. Not long after, Long Daming and Wuxia arrived in front of a huge rift valley. This rift valley was probably several hundred miles wide, and it was unknown how many miles long it was. It cut off the continent in front of it, and at the bottom of the rift valley, poisonous miasma was constantly emitted. Long Daming looked at the bottomless chasm in front of him and exclaimed, "Could this chasm have been severed by ancient god Duanlong's blade? If that's true, then what kind of power is that?" Wuxia sighed. "The power of an ancient god is not something we can imagine. There's a 99% chance that ancient god Duanlong was the one who severed this rift valley. However, this also shows the terrifying power of the dragon-breaking saber." Wuxia looked at the bottom of the rift valley with a burning gaze. Immediately, the two of them broke through the poisonous miasma and descended to the bottom of the rift valley with the 7 spiritual foxes and Dragon King sect's experts. The deeper they went, the stronger the poisonous miasma became. Finally, the 2 sect's experts arrived at the bottom of the rift valley. At this time, Huang Yuandong was leading the way while Lu Yiping's group headed deeper into the Cave of the Fallen Gods. Although the Cave of the Fallen Gods was called a cave, it was vast and boundless, and it was extremely deep. The deeper they went, the darker it became, and the more broken space there was. Even the ruler of a plane would find it hard to come out from this broken space. Lu Yiping's group maintained a constant altitude as they flew forward. Wuxia looked at the bottomless bottom of the Cave of the Fallen Gods and said, "I heard that no one has ever reached the bottom of the Cave of the Fallen Gods." Long Gu chimed in. "Legend has it that a giant demonic abyss beast hides at the bottom of the Cave of the Fallen Gods." A giant demonic abyss beast. It was the world's largest ferocious beast. Legend had it that when the giant demonic abyss beast rose, it would be the darkest time of the world because it would block out all light. The giant demonic abyss beast was even bigger than the largest divine beast, the Kuan Peng. Taurus Longjiao said, "It's just a legend, it can't be taken seriously. How can this tiny cave of the fallen gods contain a giant demonic abyss beast?" Wuxia's group was dumbfounded. The Cave of the Fallen Gods was vast and boundless, with countless continents and planets. Who knew how deep it was? How could it be considered small? However, had Taurus Longjiao seen a giant demonic abyss beast before? "My lord, it's that continent in front of us." Huang Yuandong suddenly pointed at a continent in front of them and said to Lu Yiping, "I found the world-cleansing jade in a rift valley in the depths of that continent." Soon the group arrived above the continent. Suddenly, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao looked at the continent's depths. Their gazes met. "There's something strange about this continent," Taurus Longjiao said. "Strange?" Long Gu and the others were puzzled. Huang Yuandong led Lu Yiping's group towards the eastern side of the continent. Just as Lu Yiping's group was flying towards the eastern side of the continent, a shocking fist force pierced through the air. The fist force rumbled, rolling up the sand and stones on the ground. From afar, it looked like a terrifying sandstorm was about to swallow Lu Yiping's group whole. Seeing this, Long Gu snorted coldly and punched out. Dragon Force roared as it met the incoming fist force head-on. With a loud bang, the sandstorm dispersed as Long Gu's fist force slammed into the void in front of them. A miserable scream sounded as a person was sent flying out from the void and crashed into the mountain range. "What?" Long Yu and the other experts of the Dragon King sect who were hiding in the void were shocked and came out from the void. The young patriarch of the 7 spiritual fox tribe, Hu Mingcheng, and the other experts also came out, looking at Long Gu in shock. "A plain master." Long Yu looked at Long Gu in shock. "Such pure dragon force. How do you know our Dragon King sect's Almighty Dragon Slaughter Fist? Who are you?" The Almighty Dragon Slaughter Fist was their Dragon King sect's secret technique that only a small number of people could practice. At this time, the 7 spiritual fox Hu Mingcheng secretly crushed a communication talisman. Although Lu Yiping saw this, he did not stop him. Dragon King sect's Long Gu. Long Gu's cold gaze swept over Long Yu and the other experts. Long Yu and the Dragon King sect's experts were surprised. Long Yu sneered, So you're the traitor who colluded with outsiders and betrayed our Dragon King sect. A traitor actually has the face to call himself a member of the Dragon King sect. He looked at Long Gu from head to toe. You've lived quite a long life. Not only did you not die, you even broke through to the Plane Master realm. Chapter 209. Although Long Gu had broken through to the Plane Master realm, Long Yu calmed down when he recalled that there were 10 Plane Masters among the experts his father brought here. At this time, Long Daming received the message talisman and exited the rift with Hu Zhua. In a flicker, they were back at their original spot. Father! Long Yu greeted Long Daming when he saw him leading the Dragon King sect's experts over. Long Daming's gaze swept over Lu Yiping, Long Gu, and the others with suspicion in his eyes. Hu Zhua and the 7 Spirit Fox clan's experts also looked suspiciously at Lu Yiping's group. Father! He's the traitor Long Gu who colluded with outsiders and betrayed the Dragon King sect. Long Yu pointed at Long Gu and said to Long Daming, he's the one who injured ancestor Long Jin. Long Gu! Long Daming was shocked as his gaze fell on Long Gu. That year, when Long Gu was expelled from the Dragon King sect, he was still a young man. Now that his appearance had changed greatly, Long Daming couldn't recognize him. However, he knew the truth of what had happened back then. Looking at Long Gu, his eyes gradually darkened. He didn't expect Long Gu to still be alive. That year, he and his father had sent many people to hunt him down. Looking at Long Daming's shocked expression, Long Gu sneered, Long Daming, you didn't expect this, did you? Not only did I not die, but I even submitted to Lord and broke through to the Plane Master realm. Lord? Long Daming glanced at Lu Yiping and smiled indifferent. So what if you've broken through to the Plane Master realm? I couldn't kill you back then, so you're going to die today. His gaze fell on Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others, and the rest of you, all of you will be buried with Long Gu. Long Daming's aura was fully released as he said this. Shocking dragon chi swept across heaven and earth, blasting into outer space, stirring up the airflow above the falling dragon cave. The surrounding mountains shook, and the ground began to crack. Strands of world laws swept out along with Long Daming's dragon chi, intertwining with each other like a vast sea, illuminating the mainland's surroundings. Long Gu, Heixia, Ba Dao, Qiyu, and Huang Yuandong were shocked. Long Daming's world laws had reached more than 1,000,000 strands. What kind of concept was 1,000,000 planar laws? The ruler of the Hell Suppression Godly Kingdom, Duan Hongkai, had cultivated 230,000 planar laws. The strongest person in the Nether Prison, Long Gang of the Devil Dragon Palace, only had 250,000 planar laws. With Long Daming's strength, even if Duan Hong, Long Gang, Meng Fuding, and Wang Haitao joined forces, they wouldn't be able to withstand a single blow from him. For every 10,000 more planar laws, one's battle prowess would increase by a notch. Long Daming had several 100,000 Dao essences more than Duan Hong, Wang Haitao, and the others. Just as Long Daming was about to make a move, the world rumbled as an invincible force came from the distant horizon. This invincible force was vast and mighty, like an enormous wave that could shake the world. It surged endlessly, causing the space in the cave of the fallen gods to tremble. Almost instantly, every expert in the cave of the fallen gods felt this invincible power. So strong. How can there be such a terrifying power in this world? Who is it? Which terrifying being has entered the cave of the fallen gods? Hu Zhua, the patriarch of the 7 spirit foxes, paled. Even Long Daming, who was about to make a move, stopped in his tracks. This terrifying power seems to be coming from the cave of the fallen gods' entrance. One of the Dragon King tribe's ancestors exclaimed. Then the experts of the Dragon King sect and the 7 Spirit Fox clan sensed that this invincible force was rushing toward them at a terrifying speed. Long Daming, Hu Zhua, and the others were bewildered. The Dragon King sect and 7 Spirit Fox tribe's expert senses were not wrong. At this time, a streak of light was rushing through the cave of the fallen gods, tearing space apart as it approached the mainland where they were. Behind this streak of light was Princess Wu Yu Yuan Shan, and a group of Wu Yu Divine Country's experts. Princess Wu Yu Yuan Shan and the others were being carried by the spacetime force emitted by the streak of light. Although the streak of light was carrying Princess Wu Yu Yuan Shan and the others, its speed was still terrifying. Inside the streak of light was none other than the God-ranking list's expert, Fu Songsheng. After learning that his 3 and 4 disciples were killed, Fu Songsheng spared no effort in using the space-time teleportation talisman he had obtained in the past to teleport over. Lu Yiping, I know you're in the cave of the fallen gods. I Fu Songsheng am here, roll out here. Fu Songsheng bellowed. His voice rumbled like thunder, echoing through many layers of space. Every mainland's experts in the cave of the fallen gods heard his thunderous voice. It's the God-ranking list's Lord Fu Songsheng. Lord Fu Songsheng is here. A God-ranking list expert actually came to our eternal essence world. How many years has it been since a God-ranking list expert came to our eternal essence world? Many experts were excited. It was as if it was the eternal essence world's greatest honor to have a God-ranking list expert here. It seems like the rumor that Lu Yiping killed Lord Fu Songsheng's 3 and 4 disciples is true. Lu Yiping has hit a wall this time. Now that Lord Fu Songsheng is here, Lu Yiping wouldn't have gone into hiding, right? One expert after another discussed excitedly. Lu Yiping's annihilation of the Kuanping Divine Sect and Demonic Dragon Palace had shaken the Eternal Essence world. Recently, the topic of discussion in the Eternal Essence world was Lu Yiping. But at the same time there were many people who were unhappy with Lu Yiping. Taurus Longjiao sensed Fu Songsheng's approaching figure and chuckled. This Fu guy is pretty fast. Long Daming looked suspiciously at Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others. Fu Songsheng's flame of light finally arrived at the continent where Lu Yiping and the others were. When Fu Songsheng approached Lu Yiping, Princess Wu Yuanshan saw Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao in front of them. She exclaimed in surprise, Master, Lu Yiping is in front. That brat is Lu Yiping. Fu Songsheng was stunned for a second. Then he looked at Lu Yiping, and his eyes seemed to shoot out millions of sword rays. Lu Yiping looked over. Their gazes met. Invisible energy collided in midair. The surrounding mountain range began to crumble, and countless towering ancient trees were sent flying. It was merely the collision of two people's auras. Long Daming Hu Zhua, Long Yu Hu Mingcheng, and the others turned pale with fright and retreated in panic. While retreating in panic, Long Daming Hu Zhua and the others looked at Lu Yiping in shock. They never thought that this blue-robed young man in front of them was Lu Yiping. He Xia, Huang Yuandong, and the others also retreated to Lu Yiping's side, looking at the ball of light piercing through the air towards them. Before Fu Songsheng arrived, the shockwaves from the ball of light swept up a boundless amount of sand and stones. Long Daming and the others felt the boundless energy rushing towards them, causing them to lose their footing. Once again they retreated in panic. As Fu Songsheng got closer, they finally felt how terrifying a God list expert's strength was. Fu Songsheng landed on the ground. When Fu Songsheng's feet touched the ground shook violently. Fu Songsheng stood there like a majestic mountain, looking coldly at Lu Yiping. He did not make a move. Instead, he walked towards Lu Yiping with his hands clasped behind his back. Chapter 210. Every time Fu Songsheng took a step, the ground would shake. As Fu Songsheng got closer to Lu Yiping, the ground shook even more violently. Moreover, the range of the tremors increased. First it was several hundred li, then several thousand li, then 10,000 li. The sand and stones on the ground within 10,000 li seemed to be boiling as they rose into the air. Fu Songsheng's boundless aura caused the sky above the continent to change color. Thunder rumbled and lightning flashed. Even Long Daming Hu Zhua and the others who had retreated far away felt a terrifying pressure. It was as if their bodies were being strangled by an invisible hand. They wanted to break free, but they found that they couldn't. At this moment, Long Daming and Hu Zhua deeply felt the gap between them and the God-ranking experts. The carefree Divine Nation experts who had followed Fu Songsheng here were filled with shock as they looked at him. Princess Yuanshan said to the carefree Divine Nation experts, I've said it before, you ants have no idea how terrifying the God-ranking experts are. This is merely my master's divine might. My master has yet to show his true strength. Open your eyes and watch carefully how my master kills Lu Yiping with a single punch. Fu Songsheng stopped 100 meters away from Lu Yiping and stared coldly at Lu Yiping as if he was looking at a dead man. Back then, even that brat holy demon didn't dare to touch a single hair on my disciple's head. Lu Yiping, tell me, how do you want to die? Do you want to die kneeling or standing? I'll fulfill your last wish. Indifferent smiles appeared on Taurus Longjiao's face when he heard Huang Xiaolong's words. He stepped forward and was about to attack. Fu Songxing glanced at Taurus Longjiao and said, Lu Yiping, what's wrong? You don't even have the guts to fight me? You sent a slave to die in your place. Fine, I'll kill your dog slave first, then I'll kill you. After Fu Songxing finished speaking, a punch suddenly blasted out. For the common people. For the common people. For the common people. Fu Songxing's cold voice resounded throughout the cave of the fallen gods. At this moment, everyone in the cave of the fallen gods could hear Fu Songxing's cold, domineering and dignified voice. At this moment, everyone could feel Fu Songxing's invincible might. Dong! When Fu Songxing punched out, the world became resplendent. Every corner of the continent seemed to light up. Even the surrounding continents were illuminated by the fist light. This punch seemed to have gathered the light of millions of suns. At this moment everyone stopped, their hearts filled with shock. Although the experts from other continents did not see Fu Songxing, when they heard Fu Songxing's voice and saw the dazzling fist light, some of them fell to their knees in excitement. Lord Fu Songxing is invincible. On the other hand, Princess Wu Yu Yuan Shan and the group of Wu Yu Divine Country's experts were shocked beyond words. The Wu Yu Divine Country's ancestor, who was worried about Lu Yiping's might, knelt down in excitement, shouting at the top of his lungs, Lord Fu Songxing's might is unrivaled. Yuan Shan looked at Fu Songxing's imposing figure with a face full of infatuation. I am for the common people, I am responsible for the common people, I am the master of the common people. What kind of hero is he? Long Daming Hu Zhua and the others were also shocked looking at Fu Songxing's resplendent fist light. This is Lord Fu Songxing's tyrannical life fist. So strong, too strong. Long Daming couldn't help but exclaim, Lu Yiping must die. Taurus Longjiao smiled indifferent looking at the incoming life fist. Just as he was about to make a move, Lu Yiping's hand stopped him, saying, Let me do it. With that said, Lu Yiping took a step forward. When Lu Yiping's foot stepped out, the ground that was shaking violently due to Fu Songxing's attack suddenly stopped. When Lu Yiping took a second step, the ground shook violently. The entire continent exploded, and a terrifying rift extended to the horizon. Lu Yiping punched out. Buzz! Space exploded. An indescribably large fist imprint broke through space. Long Daming Hu Zhua Yuan Shan, the carefree divine country's ancestor, and the others felt as if they were seeing an illusion. This fist imprint was bigger than the heaven and earth they saw. Fu Songxing's extremely resplendent life fist that lit up the entire continent exploded in an instant. It smashed towards Fu Songxing like crushing dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Fu Songxing stood where he was, his imposing figure exuding the heaven's might, but in front of this fist imprint, he seemed so small and weak. Shock flashed across Fu Songxing's eyes, followed by fear and then fear. He raised his head, looking at Lu Yiping's fist imprint that seemed capable of surpassing the heavens. Disbelief was written all over his face. How could a person's strength surpass the heavens? All living beings in this world were beneath the heavens. No one's strength could surpass the heavens, but this Lu Yiping's strength actually surpassed the heavens. Amidst Fu Songxing's fear, a large blade appeared in his hand. The blade was dripping with blood, as if it had just slaughtered a supreme expert. This was the ancient divine artifact, Life Saber. Life Saber can extinguish all life. The life saber in Fu Songxing's hand slashed out. This slash contained the power to split the heavens. It was as if heaven and earth were split into two. But it was useless. This life saber that could extinguish all life was still dispersed by Lu Yiping's fist imprint. Then, everyone saw Lu Yiping's fist imprint sending Fu Songxing flying into a distant mountain peak. The fist imprint continued forward, flattening one mountain peak after another. It was unknown how many mountain ranges there were in front of Fu Songxing, but wherever the fist imprint passed, all the mountain peaks were flattened. In the end, the fist imprint sent Fu Songxing flying out of the continent. Then the fist imprint continued forward, sending Fu Songxing flying into a distant continent. Rumble! That continent quaked violently. After Fu Songxing was sent flying into the distant continent, the fist imprint continued forward, sending Fu Songxing into the deepest part of the continent. The fist imprint's light beam finally disappeared. Everyone looked over and saw a huge ravine that was countless miles wide on the ground. Then, it extended all the way to the continent in the distance. This was the terrifying fist imprint left behind by Lu Yiping's fist imprint. Long Daming Hu Zhua Yuan Shan and the carefree divine nation's experts were stupefied when they saw the biggest fist imprint they had ever seen in their lives. Everyone looked at the terrifying fist mark, and for a moment, they forgot whether Fu Songxing, who had been blasted from one continent to another, was dead or alive. Even He Xia Longgu, Huang Yuandong, and the others were dumbfounded. Previously, Lu Yiping had shattered thousands of mountains in the Forbidden Land with a single fist imprint. That was terrifying enough, but compared to this fist imprint, it was like a small stone in front of a mountain. The surrounding continent's experts, who were excited by Fu Songxing's invincible fist imprint, were dumbfounded when they saw Fu Songxing being sent flying out of the continent by Lu Yiping's fist imprint. Lu Yiping's voice was cold. God ranking list expert? That's it? Lifesaber fist, that's it? Lu Yiping's voice echoed throughout the cave of the fallen gods. Chapter 211. Lu Yiping's voice was filled with contempt for an expert on the God ranking list. Lu Yiping's voice was filled with contempt for Fu Songxing. But at this moment, the entire cave of the fallen gods was deathly silent. No one dared to speak. No one dared to speak. Perhaps it was because the power Lu Yiping had just displayed was too terrifying, too shocking, that no one could speak. No one could voice their shameful thoughts. Even Princess Wu Yuan Shan, who had previously praised Fu Songxing as a hero, could not speak. She was furious. She did not believe it. But she was even more shocked, even more terrified, even more desperate. In the silence of the cave of the fallen gods, Lu Yiping took a step forward and arrived above Fu Songxing's head. Lu Yiping looked at Fu Songxing, who was on the verge of death, his divine armor shattered, his divine body covered in bloody wounds, and blood gushing out of his wounds. Heaven suppression. Earth suppression. Eternity suppression. Lu Yiping's cold voice once again resounded throughout the cave of the fallen gods. As Lu Yiping's cold voice rang out, the resplendent fist pillar came crashing down. From afar it looked like a heavenly pillar hanging from the heavens. The heavenly fist pillar slammed into Fu Songxing's body. Rumble. The entire continent trembled violently. Then, everyone saw an unforgettable scene. The heavenly fist pillar plowed into the depths of the continent and finally blasted a hole through it. The fist pillar pierced through the continent's depths. Fu Songxing was also blasted out of the continent's depths. Everyone watched as the continent floating above the cave of the fallen gods was blasted through. Their minds were blank, and they could not think of anything else. From afar, it looked like the continent had been pierced through from the top to the bottom by a terrifying pillar of light. And standing at the very top of this pillar of light was a young man in a light blue robe, a young man who seemed to dominate the world. Lu Yiping stood high up in the sky, without the slightest hint of power, but it was as if the entire world was in his hands, the gods were beneath his feet, and billions of immortals and demons prostrated themselves before him. His blue robe fluttered even though there was no wind. When Fu Songxing was blasted out of the continent, his body began to collapse bit by bit. Although they were separated by a great distance, everyone could clearly see the process of Fu Songxing's flesh disintegrating bit by bit, and even the details. Everyone could even see the fear, despair, and regret in Fu Songxing's eyes before he died. Some even saw the tears in his eyes. Was it an illusion? The man ranked 79th on the divine list actually had watery eyes. Some people even heard Fu Songxing's angry roar before he died. But they didn't hear what it was about. However, it was filled with unwillingness and resentment. Fu Songxing was dead. A cultivator ranked 79th on the God ranking list had traveled hundreds of millions of miles from the void plane to the cave of the fallen gods. Many powerful existences had been buried in the cave of the fallen gods. Today there was one more. An old ancestor looked at the blue-robed figure in the sky and muttered, "After the sacred demon, our Hung Yuan finally has another god list." There was an unwritten rule in the 17 worlds. As long as one defeated or killed an expert on the God ranking list, they could replace that person's ranking. Now Lu Yiping had killed Fu Songxing, which meant that Lu Yiping had replaced Fu Songxing's ranking on the God ranking list. Lu Yiping stepped on the air and returned to He Xia Longgu and the others in the blink of an eye. He Xia Longgu, Huang Yuandong, and the others couldn't help prostrating on the ground. Taurus Longjiao spoke, "Don't be too agitated. That was just a little bit of master strength, just a little bit of strength." Taurus Longjiao's words battered the fragile hearts of Long Dam and the Dragon King sect's experts. Of course, none of them believed Taurus Longjiao's words, but it didn't matter whether they believed it or not. Lu Yiping had He Xia Longgu, Huang Yuandong and the others stand up. His gaze fell onto Long Daming, Long Yu and the others. Long Daming and Long Yu's bodies went soft, unable to stand firm no matter how hard they tried. Both of them fell from the air. However, even after falling to the ground, Long Daming, Long Yu, and the other Dragon King sect's experts were still unable to stand firm. Lu Yiping looked at Long Daming. "If I remember correctly, you said that all of us will be buried together with Long Gu, right?" Long Daming's face was ashen as he pleaded, "Lord, please spare my life." Lu Yiping casually flicked his finger and Long Daming was sent flying. When Long Daming crashed to the ground, his body was covered in lightning and fire, incinerating into nothingness in the blink of an eye. Suddenly there was the sound of running water. The Dragon King sect's young lord Long Yu's pants were wet. It was clear to see how terrified Long Yu was. Lu Yiping frowned. In the end, Lu Yiping ordered the Limitless Star Palace's 100,000 World Surface Masters to practice with Long Gu and the Dragon King sect's experts. This time, the Dragon King sect's several hundred experts were dumbfounded when they saw the 100,000 World Surface Masters. Even the 7 Spirit Fox clans Huzhua and the others were frightened. Among the 17 worlds, even the strongest Maha clan in the Void world didn't have 100,000 World Surface Masters, right? Under the practice of the Great Void Thunder Formation and the Soaring Dragon Formation, the Masters of the Dragon King sect were only hit once. They didn't even suffer a single blow. After killing several hundred Dragon King sect's experts, Lu Yiping glanced at the Carefree Divine Country's experts in the distance and ordered the World Surface Masters to start the second round of practice. The Carefree Divine Country's princess, Yuan Shan, was blasted into pieces by He Xia's lightning strike. After dealing with the Carefree Divine Country's experts, Lu Yiping looked at the 7 Spirit Fox clan's experts. The 7 Spirit Fox clan's patriarch, Huzhua, and the 7 Spirit Fox clan's experts were already kneeling on the ground. Huzhua, who had previously said that Lu Yiping dared to provoke Fu Songxing was arrogant and ignorant, was kneeling on the ground, trembling. His voice sounded like he was about to cry, "Lord, my 7 Spirit Fox clan had no intention of provoking Lord. Please spare our lowly lives." Now, even if Lu Yiping asked him to kill other God ranking list experts, he was willing to do so. Looking at the trembling 7 Spirit Fox clan's patriarch Huzhua, Lu Yiping asked, "What are you looking for on this mainland?" Huzhua quickly answered, replying to Lord, "We are here to look for ancient god Duanlong's treasure trove." "Oh, that brat Duanlong's treasure trove is here?" Taurus Longjiao was surprised. Duanlong was a descendant of the master of myriad gods. Duanlong's talent was amazing. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao had seen countless geniuses, but those who could compare to Duanlong could be counted on one hand. "Bring us there," Lu Yiping said with a deep gaze. "Yes, Lord," Huzhua answered happily. She quickly got up and led Lu Yiping's group to the giant Rift Valley. Soon they saw the giant Rift Valley. Huzhua said, "It's at the bottom of the Rift Valley." Huang Yuandong suddenly said to Lu Yiping, "Lord, it was at this Rift Valley that I obtained the world-cleansing jade." Chapter 212. Lu Yiping was surprised to hear that Huang Yuandong had also found the world-cleansing jade in the Rift Valley. Lu Yiping arrived at the top of the Rift Valley. When he reached the top of the Rift Valley, the 2 creation jade discs in his body suddenly vibrated. This feeling was similar to when he had sensed the second creation jade disc in the Sky Demon tribe. Lu Yiping was overjoyed. This meant that there was another creation jade disc at the bottom of the Rift Valley. Immediately, Lu Yiping broke through the poisonous miasma and descended to the bottom of the Rift Valley with the others. While Lu Yiping and the others descended to the bottom of the Rift Valley, the Cave of the Fallen Gods was in an uproar. Fu Songxing of the God list is dead. For many years, no one on the God list has been killed. On a nearby continent, Lu Lei, the Nine Stars Realm's patriarch of the Divine Tao sect, sighed with emotion. Master of the Saint Devil Realm? This Lu Yiping is amazing. He had clearly seen the scene of Fu Songxing being killed by Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping's heaven-defying strength had shaken him to the core. Lu Lei's disciple, Fu Yifan, said, Master, how do you think Lu Yiping compares to our Lord of Nine Stars? The Lord of Nine Stars was the strongest person in the Nine Stars realm. She was also an expert on the God list and ranked 14th. Lu Lei froze, then shook his head. Although Lu Yiping killed Fu Songxing and his power shook the heavens, he's still far too weak compared to the Lord of Nine Stars of our plane. The Lord of Nine Stars' power has reached an unimaginable level. Then he said, let's go, we should leave the cave of the fallen gods. With Lu Yiping here, we can forget about the ancient god Duanlong's secret manual. Then, he led his disciples out of the cave of the fallen gods. Master, are we going back to the Nine Stars realm? Fu Yifan asked. No, since we're on the divine land, let's go to the snow-listening divine nation to see that kid Muyang, Lu Lei said. The snow-listening divine nation's monarch, Lung Muyang, was his in-name disciple. When Fu Yifan heard this, he smiled and said, I haven't seen junior brother Muyang in a long time. Junior brother Muyang seems to be obsessed with alchemy and array formations. I heard that the snow-listening divine nation holds an alchemy and array formation competition every few years, and the rewards are abundant. Even I want to participate. Lu Lei laughed. I actually miss this brat's tree garden. The fruits of the jade flame tree in his tree garden should be ripe by now. Also, I don't know if he has successfully cultivated those two tree pieces. The two of them flew toward the snow-listening divine nation. On one of the continents inside the Cave of Fallen Gods, the hell-suppressing divine kingdom's experts also received news of Fu Songxing's death at the hands of Lu Yiping. Hearing this news, the hell-suppressing divine kingdom's great ancestor Chen Huai, and the rest of the hell-suppressing divine kingdom's experts paled. We still underestimated Lu Yiping. His strength is actually so tyrannical. Chen Huai's face was gloomy. Lord Great Ancestor, why don't we leave the divine land? One of the hell-suppressing divine kingdom's ancestors suggested weakly. Chen Huai's expression turned frosty. His sharp gaze pierced through the hell-suppressing divine kingdom's ancestor, scaring him to his knees. Lord Great Ancestor, I'm not afraid of death. I'm just thinking for our hell-suppressing divine kingdom. The hell-suppressing divine kingdom's ancestor argued, revenge is a dish best served cold. With our hell-suppressing divine kingdom's current strength, we can't resist Lu Yiping. That's right, Lord Great Ancestor, we're only leaving temporarily. We'll come back in the future. Another ancestor also knelt and persuaded. The group of ancestors also knelt down. Chen Huai's expression darkened. Migrating an entire nation was no small matter. All of you get up. Chen Huai's expression softened. After everyone got up, he said solemnly, migrating an entire nation is no small matter. Where are we going? Why don't we go to the Void Plane? One of the ancestors suggested. The Void Plane is the first of the 17 planes. We can seek protection from the Maha clan. The Maha clan is the #1 clan, and their patriarch ranks first on the God ranking list. If we have Patriarch Maha's protection, we won't have to fear Lu Yiping. At that time Lu Yiping won't even dare to fart. Chen Huai shook his head. We have no friendship with the Maha clan, and they won't care about our little force. If we submit to the Maha clan, we won't be valued. At that time we'll be living under someone else's roof, living a cowardly life. Moreover, the eternal ether plane is far away from the void plane. It's not convenient to migrate an entire nation. He thought for a moment, then said, my master had a good relationship with the Lord of Nine Stars. We can go to the Nine Stars plane. Lu Yiping didn't know any of this. At this time he, Taurus Longjiao, Huang Yuandong, and the others had arrived at the bottom of the rift. After arriving at the bottom of the rift, Lu Yiping sensed the third creation jade disc and flew forward. My lord, it's in front. Huang Yuandong pointed ahead. Lu Yiping nodded. Everyone followed behind Lu Yiping in a mighty manner. Finally, they arrived at the end of the rift. There was a huge ruin at the end and there were broken walls everywhere. Obviously, there used to be a complex of buildings here, but it had been destroyed later. Lu Yiping punched out, and all the broken walls were sent flying. When the broken walls were sent flying, a shining jade disc appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Lu Yiping stretched out his hand, and the jade disc fell into his hand. It was the third creation jade disc. Seeing the third creation jade disc, Lu Yiping was overjoyed. He had finally found the third creation jade disc. He had now collected 3 of the 24 creation jade discs. After putting away the third creation jade disc, Lu Yiping looked at the dark hole in the ground. The cave entrance had just been buried under the crumbling walls. Everyone looked at the hole in surprise. Earlier, they had used their divine sense to scan the ruins, but they did not find this hole. This hole has a concealment formation. It's an ancient formation, so it's normal that you didn't find it. Taurus Longjiao said. When Master attacked just now, he had already broken the concealment formation. You guys wait here, Lu Yiping said to everyone. Then he and Taurus Longjiao entered the hole in a flash, disappearing from everyone's sight. After entering the hole, they flew through the darkness for a while. Then their eyes lit up as they arrived at a place that looked like a paradise. In this space, birds chirped, flowers bloomed, and waterfalls flowed. There were many divine trees that were rarely seen, and these divine trees were covered in fruits. There were several palaces in the midst of birds chirping and flowers blooming. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao walked towards the palaces. In the main palace there was a large saber. It's Duanlong's Dragonbreaker saber, Taurus Longjiao said. Lu Yiping picked up the large saber. It was quite heavy in his hand. Half of a dragon's body was branded on the large saber. After putting away the Dragonbreaker saber, Lu Yiping went to the other palaces. There were only some secret manuals, some elixirs, and some ancient artifacts in the other palaces. These things were of no use to Lu Yiping, but after some consideration, Lu Yiping also took them. It's strange that the creation jade disc appeared near Duanlong's secret treasure. Could there be a connection? Taurus Longjiao said. Chapter 213. Lu Yiping was just as confused. It was too much of a coincidence for the creation jade disc to appear in the vicinity of the broken dragon secret treasure. However, he and Taurus Longjiao searched the secret treasure palace but couldn't find any clues. Half an hour later, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao emerged from the broken dragon secret treasure palace. Then Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others left the Rift Valley and returned to the surface. As for the broken dragon secret treasure, Lu Yiping arranged a grand formation to reseal it. After returning to the surface, Lu Yiping gave Huang Yuandong 100 drops of star chaos water on the spot. If it weren't for Huang Yuandong, he wouldn't have found the third creation jade disc so easily. However, Lu Yiping didn't leave the cave of the fallen gods immediately. Instead, he continued to stroll around the cave of the fallen gods. One day later, Lu Yiping's group left the cave of the fallen gods. It seems like Fu Songxing's death has frightened the hell-suppressing divine nation, causing them to flee to the 9 stars realm, Taurus Longjiao said after exiting the cave of the fallen gods. The news that the hell-suppressing divine nation had fled the divine land to seek the protection of the Lord of 9 stars had spread. Master, should we chase after them? Taurus Longjiao asked. No need. Lu Yiping shook his head and said, we'll just make a trip to the 9 stars realm. Then, he added, we're going to the snow-listening divine nation now. He suspected that the other tree block in the snow-listening divine nation's ruler's hand was the creation tree block. Thus, Lu Yiping and the others returned to the snow-listening divine nation. As for the 7 spirit fox clans Huzhua and the others, Lu Yiping didn't make things difficult for them. When the 7 spirit fox clans people left, they kowtowed and thanked Huang Yuandong profusely. Although the snow-listening divine nation's power wasn't as strong as the hell-suppressing divine nation or the carefree divine nation, it wasn't weak either. It ranked 9th among the divine land's 10 super divine nations. After traveling for some time, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the divine capital of the snow-listening divine nation. The heavenly capital of Tingxue stood tall on the plains, and people were weaving in and out of the city gate. Lu Yiping and the others entered the heavenly capital of Tingxue. After entering the immortals' capital, everyone was discussing the snow-listening divine nation's alchemy and formation competition. The snow-listening divine nation held an alchemy and array formation competition every 3 years. The alchemy and formation competition had just ended yesterday. I didn't expect that the champion of this year's alchemy and array formation competition would come from the Tianlong Divine Kingdom. Is this Aoshua the nephew of the Tianlong Divine Kingdom's ruler? I heard that the hell-suppressing divine nation fled in fright. The carefree divine nation's princess, Yuan Shan, and a group of experts were squashed to death by Lu Yiping. Even Fu Songxing was beaten to death. The Forbidden Land's divine nation's capital was reduced to dust by Lu Yiping's cauldron. Without these countries participating, it's not surprising that the champion would be Aoshua from the Tianlong divine nation. However, other than the alchemy and formation competition, most people were talking about Lu Yiping and the Lord of Nine Stars. The hell-suppressing divine nation went to the Nine Stars Plain to seek protection from the Lord of Nine Stars. Say, do you think Lu Yiping will dare to kill his way to the Lord of Nine Stars' Nine-Star City? I don't think so. Lu Yiping may have killed Fu Songxing, but he's still no match for a titan like the Lord of Nine Stars. In the past, someone ranked 33rd on the God ranking challenged the Lord of Nine Stars. In the end, the Lord of Nine Stars punched him to death with a single punch. Afterward, the Lord of Nine Stars' mount devoured his flesh and blood. Ever since the hell-suppressing divine nation went to the Nine Stars Plain to seek protection from the Lord of Nine Stars, Lu Yiping heard people in every city. He went to talk about whether or not he'd fight the Lord of Nine Stars. They talked about whether or not he'd dare to kill his way to the Nine Stars Plain. They talked about what would happen if he fought the Lord of Nine Stars. However, almost everyone said that although he'd killed Fu Songxing, he was still far from being a match for the Lord of Nine Stars. Disregarding everything else, the Lord of Nine Stars had killed someone ranked 33rd on the God ranking with a single punch. She wasn't someone Lu Yiping, who just entered the God ranking, could compare to. Xia Ba Dao Longgu and Qi Yu followed behind Lu Yiping. When they heard the people in front of them talking about how Lu Yiping would be killed with a single punch if he dared to challenge the Lord of Nine Stars, they couldn't help but frown. Just as they were about to step forward and drag Lu Yiping away, Lu Yiping reached out and stopped them. Forget it. Right now the entire divine land was talking about him. He couldn't kill everyone who was talking about him, could he? At this moment, on the second floor of the largest tavern in Divine Snow Capital, the Crimson Flame Divine Sect's first disciple, Zhao Tianyu, was clinking glasses with Aoshua of the Sky Dragon Divine Nation. Zhao Tianyu smiled obsequiously. Congratulations, Brother Aoshua, for winning the alchemy and formation competitions. Previously, at the Thunder Volcano, Zhao Tianyu's divine veins had been shattered by the jade-faced Wolf Lord, and he had been on the verge of death. After a few days, Zhao Tianyu's injuries seemed to have healed. Aoshua replied politely, then drank the wine in his cup. He smiled and said, "This time the Prison Suppression Divine Nation, Carefree Divine Nation, and Forbidden Lands Divine Nation didn't participate. That's why I was able to win the alchemy and formation competitions. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had the chance to win." Zhao Tianyu smiled. Brother Aoshua's alchemy and formation skills have already reached the level of refining pills with the fire of heaven and earth, and creating formations with a single thought. Winning the championship is what everyone wants. Even the Prison Suppression Divine Nation's disciples can't beat Brother Aoshua. He then added, "Compared to Brother Aoshua 3 years ago, I think Du Dalai isn't even worthy to be Brother Aoshua's assistant. Du Dalai was the alchemy and formation competitions champion 3 years ago." Another young sect master from the Cloud Divine Nation suddenly smiled and said, "I heard that Brother Zhao Tianyu was beaten half to death by Du Dalai's people a few days ago at the Thunder Volcano. Even his divine veins were shattered." "I've also heard about this matter." Another young sect master laughed. "Brother Zhao Tianyu, your divine veins have been reconnected, right? How are your injuries?" Zhao Tianyu's face was ugly. Hearing these people instigating this matter, his hatred for Du Dalai deepened. Suddenly, right at this time, he saw a figure in blue through the tavern's window. "It's him." Zhao Tianyu's eyes turned cold, and he jumped to his feet. "Brother Zhao Tianyu, what's wrong?" The Heavenly Dragon Divine Nation's Aoshua was baffled by Zhao Tianyu's strange behavior. "It's the people around Du Dalai that day," Zhao Tianyu said coldly. Aoshua and the others were astounded. "Since we've met, let's go out and take a look." Aoshua smiled. All these years people had been comparing him with Du Dalai, and he didn't have a good impression of Du Dalai. Ao Shua Zhao Tianyu and the others walked out of the tavern. When Zhao Tianyu saw Lu Yiping, Taurus Long Jiao, and the others walking in front, he barked, "All of you stop right there." His voice rumbled like thunder. Many disciples walking on the streets recognized Zhao Tianyu, Ao Shua, and the others, and they were shocked. Hearing the shout, Lu Yiping, Taurus Long Jiao, and the others frowned and turned around. At this time, inside the Listening Snow Divine Nation's Imperial Palace, the Listening Snow Divine Nation's ruler Leng Muyang was holding a banquet for the 9-star world's divine Dao sects Lu Lei, Fu Yifan, and the Heavenly Dragon Divine Nations Ao Yishuan, Ao Bai, and the others. Inside the Imperial Palace's Great Hall, people were singing and dancing, laughing and joking. Chapter 214. Lu Yiping, Taurus Long Jiao, and the others turned around. When they saw Zhao Tianyu, Taurus Long Jiao looked like he had seen an old friend for a long time, smiling, "Hey kid, it's you." He then looked at Zhao Tianyu from head to toe, saying, "You've recovered well since we parted at the lightning volcano." Zhao Tianyu's face darkened when Taurus Long Jiao mentioned the lightning volcano again. Ao Shua reached out to stop Zhao Tianyu, who was about to rush forward. He looked at Lu Yiping, Taurus Long Jiao, and the others. "You're Du Dalai's people?" "Du Dalai's people?" Taurus Long Jiao laughed. "So what if we are? So what if we aren't? So what? Let me out." Ao Shua frowned. Hearing Taurus Long Jiao's words, Zhao Tianyu laughed angrily. "At the lightning volcano, your people broke my meridians." Taurus Long Jiao was enlightened, interrupting, "Oh, I know your meridians have been reconnected, so you came here to let us break your meridians again." He then said to Ao Shua and the others, "You guys are the same, right?" Zhao Tianyu and the others were enraged hearing this. Even Ao Shua glared at Taurus Long Jiao. Not to mention Du Dalai, even his master wouldn't dare to be so arrogant in front of me. "I don't care what relationship you have with Du Dalai, but if you don't kneel down and apologize to me, none of you will walk out of this Listening Snow celestial capital today." However, just as he finished speaking, Taurus Long Jiao sent him flying with a slap, crashing to the ground in the distance. Blood spurted out from Ao Shua's mouth, his face was crooked, and his meridians shattered inch by inch. Zhao Tianyu and the other young lords were dumbfounded. Those who knew Ao Shua's identity were dumbfounded. Even Ao Shua, who was vomiting blood from the slap, was dumbfounded. Feeling the shattered meridians in his body, Ao Shua looked at Taurus Long Jiao in shock and anger, roaring, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? You dare to break my meridians. You're courting death, do you know that?" He was the champion of this year's alchemy and array competition, as well as the nephew of the Tianlong Divine Kingdom's ruler. Among the younger generation of the Tianlong Divine Kingdom, whether it was alchemy or array formation, he was one of the most outstanding geniuses. He was highly valued by his uncle, the Tianlong Divine Kingdom's ruler. No one had ever dared to treat him like this. Ao Shua's roar spread far and wide. However, as soon as he said that, Taurus Long Jiao slapped him again, causing him to roll on the ground and crash into the opposite building. He then fainted completely. Zhao Tianyu and the other young lords were even more shocked. Zhao Tianyu regained his senses and looked at Taurus Long Jiao in shock and anger. "Do you know who he is?" "He is the nephew of the Tianlong Divine Country's ruler." "Tianlong Divine Country, do you know?" Zhao Tianyu said angrily, "You're all dead." Before he could finish, Taurus Long Jiao's slap sent Zhao Tianyu flying into the Snow-Listening Divine Kingdom's palace, crashing into the palace's walls. A loud boom sounded from the Snow-Listening Divine Kingdom's walls, and a large gap was formed. The entire Snow-Listening Divine Kingdom's capital shook. Inside the Snow-Listening Divine Kingdom's main hall, Leng Muyang, Lu Lei, Ao Yishuan, Ao Bai, and the others were laughing and singing when they heard the loud boom. The singing and dancing girls in the main hall also stopped. Leng Muyang put down his wine cup and asked solemnly, "What happened?" At this time, one of the palace's experts rushed into the hall reporting, "It's the Red Flame Divine Sect's chief disciple, Zhao Tianyu. He was smashed into our palace's walls." Leng Muyang, Lu Lei, Ao Yishuan, and the others were dumbfounded. They knew the Red Flame Divine Sect's chief had a good relationship with Leng Muyang. But now, the red flame divine sect's chief disciple was smashed into the snow-listening divine kingdom's palace walls. Leng Muyang frowned, asking solemnly, "Do you know who the culprit is? We're already investigating." The palace's expert hurried to answer. However, another palace's expert rushed into the hall, reporting to Leng Muyang, "Your Majesty, we just received news that young noble Aoshua's divine veins were shattered, and he's unconscious on the street." What? Not only Leng Muyang but Ao Ishuan, Ao Bai, and the others also jumped to their feet. Inside the main hall, everyone stood up in shock. Zhao Tianyu's death was already a surprise to everyone. Now, even Aoshua's divine veins were shattered. More importantly, Aoshua was not the red flame divine sect's Zhao Tianyu, but the heavenly dragon divine country's ruler, Ao Ishuan's nephew. The heavenly dragon divine country's ruler, Ao Ishuan, was right here. Leng Muyang's eyes were frosty. Mobilize all the snow-listening divine kingdom's forces. Capture the culprit. Now. Immediately. Ao Ishuan's voice was solemn. No need, snow-listening heavenly ruler. Our heavenly dragon divine country will do it ourselves. He then turned to the snow-listening divine country's palace's expert. Where is the culprit now? Bring us there. The snow-listening divine country's palace's expert was stunned, but he complied respectfully. Under the snow-listening divine country's palace's expert's lead, Ao Ishuan, Ao Bai, and the heavenly dragon divine country's expert soared into the air, flying towards Lu Yiping. Seeing this, Leng Muyang, Lu Lei, Fu Yifan, and the others also followed. In a split second, the snow-listening divine country's experts, as well as the other divine country's super sex experts in the main hall, rushed towards Lu Yiping. The snow-listening divine countries, heavenly dragon divine countries, and super sex experts flying over the snow-listening divine country's airspace shocked everyone. It's the heavenly dragon ruler and snow-listening heavenly ruler. What's going on? What happened? Inside the divine capital, many people were still clueless about what was going on. Seeing the heavenly dragon emperor and snow-listening divine country's ruler moving out together, they were astounded. Seems to be Aoshu. His meridians were shattered by someone at the snow-listening tavern. Many people saw it. Someone said. The crowd was in an uproar. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others also sensed the snow-listening divine country's army coming towards them, and they stopped in their tracks. Following the snow-listening divine country's palace's expert's lead, Ao Ishuan saw the snow-listening tavern from afar. The snow-listening tavern was the biggest tavern in the snow-listening divine capital. The building was tall and it occupied a large area, making it very conspicuous. The snow-listening divine country's palace's expert pointed at a street not far from the snow-listening tavern. It was those people who did it. Ao Ishuan's gaze followed the direction the expert was pointing at, and he saw a light blue figure standing on the street. That light blue figure's handsome face was beyond words. At this time, Lu Yiping also looked over. The originally angry Ao Ishuan's eyes widened in shock, and his body stiffened. For a moment, he forgot to circulate his god force and fly, falling from the sky. Ao Bai, who was beside Ao Ishuan, also fell from the sky when he saw that face. The several tens of thousands of experts from various divine kingdoms and super sects who had followed Ao Ishuan to the heavenly dragon divine kingdom were dumbfounded when they saw Ao Ishuan and young Lord Ao Bai falling from the sky. Chapter 2:15. Even the heavenly dragon divine country's experts were dumbfounded. They had never seen their heavenly dragon ruler and young lord lose their composure like this. At this time, Ao Ishuan, who had fallen to the ground from a high altitude and was covered in sand and dust, was still crawling forward. Crawl. Watching the heavenly dragon ruler Ao Ishuan crawl forward after falling to the ground with his head lowered, everyone was dumbfounded. No one could understand why the heavenly dragon divine country's ruler Ao Ishuan would act like this. Suddenly, the divine Dao sect's Lu Lei turned to look at the blue-robed figure. His face was filled with bewilderment. Although he had seen the scene of Fu Songxing being killed in the fallen god's cave, he did not see Lu Yiping's face clearly. Just as Leng Muyang was about to speak, Ao Ishuan suddenly kowtowed. Sinner Ao Ishuan kowtows to the Lord. Ao Ishuan kowtows to the Lord. Ao Ishuan and Ao Bai both prostrated on the ground, their voices trembling. Sinner? Hearing Aoishuan call himself a sinner, everyone was astounded, looking ahead in disbelief at the blue-robed figure at the end of the street. He is Lu Lei's disciple, Fu Yifan stuttered. Saint Devil Master Lu Yiping? Saint Devil Master? Everyone's mind went blank. In an instant, the people high in the air fell to the ground like rain. More than 10,000 people slammed into the ground with loud rumbling noises. The snow-listening divine country streets were paved with hard granite. Thus, the ground cracked under the weight of several thousand people. Sand and dust flew high into the air. These experts came from various divine countries' super sects. Some even came from their respective divine countries' royal families, and some were like Aoishuan and Lung Muyang, rulers of their own countries. But now all of them had fallen to the ground. No one dared to stay high in the air. No one dared to look down at the blue-robed figure. When they fell to the ground, everyone prostrated themselves on the ground. Their reaction was swift. Even Lu Lei and Fu Yifan from the Nine-Star World's Divine Dao sect did not dare to remain standing, prostrating on the ground with the rest. This was the deterrence power of a God List expert. The number of experts in each world was innumerable. The God List experts were the strongest 100 experts in the 17 worlds. To experts from the 17 worlds experts, the God List experts were the true rulers of the 17 worlds' supreme existences. Oshua has offended you, please punish me, Aoishuan said in a trembling voice. To him, Lu Yiping was not only an expert on the divine list, but also his savior. If it weren't for Lu Yiping, he would have died a long time ago. Lu Yiping looked at the terrified Aoishuan and said, "Get up, it's not a big deal." Then he said to Lung Muyang and the others, "You guys get up too." To Lu Yiping this was just a trivial matter, but to Aoishuan, Lung Muyang and the others it was an earth-shattering matter. Therefore no one dared to stand up. "Get up, all of you." Lu Yiping raised his voice. Aoishuan, Lung Muyang, and the others panicked when they heard that. Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao and Heixia walked over. Everyone lowered their heads and held their breaths. "You're the snow-listening heavenly monarch?" Lu Yiping's gaze fell on Lung Muyang. Lung Muyang's body tensed up, and he hurried to answer. "This lowly one is Lung Muyang. I heard that you've obtained 2 special tree pieces that can't be successfully cultivated," Lu Yiping said. Lung Muyang and the others were stunned. Even Lu Lei and Aoishuan were surprised. Judging from Lu Yiping's words, he was here for those 2 special tree pieces? Lung Muyang regained his senses and said in a hurry, "Yes, Lord. Those 2 special tree pieces are in the depths of my palace's tree garden." He then respectfully invited Lu Yiping to the snow-listening heavenly nation's palace. Thus, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao followed Lung Muyang into the snow-listening heavenly nation's palace. Aoishuan and the others followed closely behind them. When they arrived at the snow-listening heavenly nation's palace's tree garden, Lu Yiping saw the 2 special tree pieces that Lung Muyang had collected. One of them was the Sun Fusang tree, and there were 4 of them. The other one was the creation tree, and although there were only 2 of them, each of them was more than a meter tall. Lu Yiping was overjoyed. "Where did you find these tree pieces?" Lu Yiping asked Lung Muyang, referring to the creation tree pieces. Lung Muyang's tense heart finally relaxed when he saw the joy on Lu Yiping's face. He answered, "I found them in the 9 Stars World's desolate forest." "Oh, the 9 Stars World?" Lu Yiping was surprised. "Yes," Lung Muyang said respectfully, "it was more than 30 years ago. At that time I went to the 9 Stars World to visit a good friend. After that, I entered the desolate forest with my good friend to search for the Azure Flame Divine Tree, and found these 2 tree pieces. At that time I felt that these 2 tree pieces were very special, very heavy, and very hard, so I brought them back to study. However, I've watered them with all kinds of divine water and cultivated them with all kinds of divine soil, but these 2 tree pieces still couldn't sprout." Lung Muyang shook his head. "Desolate forest." Lu Yiping repeated it once, memorized it, and then asked Lung Muyang about the desolate forest location in the 9 Stars World. "I want to buy these tree pieces," Lu Yiping said in a low voice. "Can you sell them to me? Or do you need some kind of treasure?" Lung Muyang quickly waved his hand. "In any case, I found these tree pieces by chance. If Lord wants them, feel free to take them. In any case, I can't cultivate these tree pieces successfully. They're just a few pieces of useless wood in this tree garden." Lu Yiping took out a jade bottle and said, "There are 1,000 drops of star chaos water in here." Lung Muyang's eyes widened as he stared at the jade bottle in shock. There were 1,000 drops of star chaos water in here. "Lord, no, I can't take it." In his shock, Lung Muyang stuttered. He was really frightened. He never thought that Lu Yiping would give him 1,000 drops of star chaos water. "Take it," Lu Yiping said, then said, "Do you need anything else? You said that you entered the desolate forest to look for the azure flame divine tree, right?" Lung Muyang quickly said, "Yes, I want to find some azure flame divine tree leaves to refine pills." He then asked meekly, "Does Lord know where to find the azure flame divine tree?" Lu Yiping nodded, "I know of one. I'll send someone to deliver the azure flame divine tree leaves to you." There was an azure flame divine tree in the heavenly capital city's myriad gods' residence, but its grade was too low, which was why Lu Yiping did not plant the Zhoutian soil in it and did not bring it with him. Lung Muyang was overjoyed at Lu Yiping's words, and he bowed to thank him. Lu Yiping put away the 2 Zhoutian tree pieces and the 4 Sun Fusong tree pieces. Although the Sun Fusong tree was not one of the top 10 spiritual roots, it was not inferior to the Phoenix divine tree. If it was cultivated, it might be useful in the future. Under Lung Muyang's warm invitation, Lu Yiping and the group returned to the Snow Listening Palace's main hall and drank a few cups of wine with them. The next day, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, Aoishuan, and the rest left the Snow Listening Divine Nation for the Heavenly Dragon Divine Nation. Chapter 216. Lung Muyang sent Lu Yiping off, watching Lu Yiping's figure disappear into the distance. A long time after Lu Yiping's figure disappeared, his heart was still thumping loudly. After arriving at the Heavenly Dragon Divine Kingdom, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao went directly to the ancient dragon tomb. This time they came to the Heavenly Dragon Divine Kingdom, mainly to see Ao Mingting. However, when Lu Yiping activated the Eye of Lightning Punishment, he was surprised because there was no sign of Ao Mingting in the ancient dragon tomb. Lu Yiping asked Aoishuan, "Are you sure that your old ancestor has never come out after entering the ancient dragon tomb?" Aoishuan and Aobai were stunned. "What does Lord mean?" Aoishuan asked. "Ao Mingting is not in the ancient dragon tomb," Lu Yiping said. "Not here." Aoishuan and Aobai raised their voices. In their minds, their old ancestor had never come out after entering the ancient dragon tomb. Now, hearing Lu Yiping say that their old ancestor was not in the ancient dragon tomb, they were dumbfounded. Lu Yiping searched again with the Eye of Thunder Punishment. He searched through all the spaces in the ancient dragon tomb, but he still couldn't find Ao Mingting. If Ao Mingting was dead, his corpse wouldn't have rotted so quickly. But now there was nothing, which meant that Ao Mingting had left the ancient dragon tomb. It was just that Aoishuan and the others didn't know. The moon was bright and the stars were sparse. Lu Yiping stood in the courtyard arranged by Aoishuan, watering the rainbow gourd while thinking about Ao Mingting. Where did Ao Mingting go? Since he had left the ancient dragon tomb, why didn't he inform Aoishuan and the others? After watering the 2 bowls of Spring of Life, the rainbow gourd's purple gourd shone brightly. Afterward, Lu Yiping began to water the creation tree. After fusing with the 2 pieces of the Snow Listening Divine Nation, the creation tree had already grown to a height of more than 5 meters. It had many branches, and there were dozens of leaves on the branches. The leaves were very pleasant, and the veins on the surface of the leaves were like heaven-splitting runes. Next, Lu Yiping began to comprehend the 3rd Good Fortune Jade Disc. The 3rd Good Fortune Jade Disc was the same as the second one. It recorded the 100 Great Das. Among the 100 Great Das, there was the Tao of Thunder, the Tao of Wind, the Tao of Pills, and the Tao of Beasts. If he could comprehend the way of thunder, then he would be able to truly control the strongest power of thunder in the world. If he could comprehend the way of wind, then he would be able to transform into the wind of the world. He would be able to travel with the wind and be everywhere. If he could comprehend the Tao of Alchemy, then he would be the true alchemy ancestor. He would be able to refine any kind of divine pill in the world. If he could comprehend the beast core, then he would be able to control the beasts of myriad worlds. Even the strongest heaven-splitting divine beast in the world, and the strongest devil abyss beast in hell, would be under his control. Moreover, there was still no news of the ancient fiend god Changliang. Therefore, Liu Yiping was not in a hurry to leave the divine nation. He stayed in the Sky Dragon divine nation, comprehending the good fortune jade disc and watering the creation tree every day. At the same time, Liu Yiping persisted in cultivating the longevity secret art. In this world, only the longevity secret art could grant immortality. Now, Liu Yiping, who had cultivated the longevity secret art to the 49th level, could be said to have the same lifespan as the world. However, the 49th level of the longevity secret art could only grant him the same lifespan as the world. Liu Yiping felt that only when he cultivated the longevity secret art to the 50th level and above could he live forever. At that time, even if the universe was destroyed, he would not be afraid. He would also live forever. The good fortune jade disc only had 49 levels of the longevity secret art, so he had to comprehend and explore the rest on his own. On this day, the Heavenly Inquiry Pavilion replied to Liu Yiping, saying that there was news of the ancient fiend god Chongliang. They found out that Chongliang had left the eternal origin plane through the divine nation's spatial passage. As for Luoshui's jade flute, their chief pavilion master found it in an abandoned city in the eternal demon domain, and gave Liu Yiping its exact location. Chongliang left the eternal origin plane? Taurus Longjiao was puzzled. What is this kid doing? Lord, the 9 Stars emissary is outside asking to see you. While Liu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao were thinking about the ancient fiend god Chongliang, Aoishuan came in from outside and reported, "The 9 Stars emissary?" Liu Yiping asked. "Yes. He's one of the Lord of 9 Stars generals. His name is Chao Hua, and he's in the main hall now," Aoishuan said carefully. "He might be here because of the hell-suppressing divine kingdom. Let's go out and take a look." Liu Yiping's expression was normal as he left the courtyard with Taurus Longjiao and Aoishuan. When they arrived at the main hall, they saw a middle-aged man wearing star battle armor standing in the middle of the hall with his hands behind his back. There were seats beside the hall, but he didn't sit. Instead, he examined the carvings in the hall. When Chao Hua saw Liu Yiping and the others come out, his gaze fell on Liu Yiping. He put down his hands behind his back and didn't salute. He said, "Are you the holy demon's master?" "I am," Liu Yiping said calmly. "What is it?" Chao Hua took out an invitation and tossed it to Liu Yiping. "In a few days it will be our Lord of 9 Stars' 100,000th birthday. This is an invitation from our Lord. Our Lord said that you must come. He has something to tell you." Liu Yiping didn't take the invitation and let it fall to the ground. He looked at Chao Hua. "I must come? He has something to tell me? What if I don't go?" When Chao Hua saw that Liu Yiping hadn't taken the invitation he'd thrown at him, and had instead allowed the Lord of 9 Stars' invitation to land in the main hall, his expression darkened. "Since the Lord of 9 Stars has specifically requested that you attend, I advise you to attend. Also, you'd better pick up the Lord of 9 Stars' invitation. If you pick it up immediately and put it away, I can pretend I didn't see it. Otherwise, I'll report everything to the Lord of 9 Stars." Chao Hua said coldly. However, as soon as he said this, he saw little fish appear in Taurus Longjiao's hand. Little fish suddenly smashed him to the ground. The hall shook. Taurus Longjiao put little fish away and walked over. As he walked over, he stepped on the invitation. The invitation exploded into countless pieces. Taurus Longjiao walked up to Chao Hua and stomped on his head, flattening it. "Who the hell is the Lord of 9 Stars? Does he have something to tell our Lord? Do you think I won't go over and stomp on his head right now?" Liu Yiping looked at Chao Hua, whose face was filled with anger, astonishment and disbelief. "Go back and tell your Lord that I'll be at his birthday banquet. Tell him not to meddle in the affairs of the prison-suppressing divine kingdom. Otherwise, I'll wring his head off during the banquet." Liu Yiping's voice was indifferent, but there was a chill in it that made one's heart palpitate. Taurus Longjiao kicked Chao Hua out of the hall. "Get lost." Chao Hua was sent flying and tumbled to the square outside the hall. After a long while he stood up trembling. Chapter 217. However, Chao Hua did not dare to say anything, and he sped away. Aoishuan looked at Chao Hua's departing figure with a wry smile. In fact, when Chao Hua came to deliver the invitation, he had already guessed this would happen. Lu Yiping did not put Chao Hua's departure to heart, and continued to comprehend the fortune jade disc and cultivate the longevity secret art. The next day, Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and the others left the heavenly dragon divine country, arriving at the abandoned city mentioned by the Heavenly Inquiry Pavilion in the ancient demon domain. However, after searching for a while, they did not find anything. In the end, Lu Yiping could only leave in disappointment. After leaving, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao made a trip to the Heavenly Inquiry Pavilion's General Pavilion, asking the General Pavilion Master to keep it for him if he found something similar to silver ore in the future. The Heavenly Inquiry Pavilion's General Pavilion Master hurriedly complied. After that, Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao left through the Divine Soil Space Tunnel, leaving the Eternal Origin World surface and arriving at the vast galaxy. Outside the Eternal Origin World was the endless galaxy. Lu Yiping and the others stood in the Star River, gazing into the distance. The Star River was deep, empty and quiet. Only the whistling of the wind could be heard. This was the sound of the Star River storm sweeping across the Star River. In the vast galaxy there were not only galactic storms, but also space hailstorms and the possibility of encountering giant galactic beasts. Therefore, if one wanted to travel across the galaxy without a certain level of strength, it was akin to courting death. Generally speaking, only the world surface lord and above dared to travel across the galaxy. Occasionally, there were peak late-stage heavenly god realm experts who would travel across the galaxy, but the danger was high. A peak late-stage heavenly god realm expert could die without leaving a corpse behind. This galaxy is still the most comfortable to look at. Taurus Longjiao sighed with emotion, vast, spacious, mysterious, and full of the unknown. He then added, just like a woman's heart. He Xia Longgu, Qiyu and Ba Dao were dumbfounded. Lu Yiping took out a flying ship. This flying ship was 1,000 zhang long, entirely black in color. There was a giant black dragon engraved on the ship's body, and the black dragon totem patterns twined around the entire ship. This was the spaceship of the ancient Black Dragon clan. Let's go. Lu Yiping jumped onto the spaceship. He Xia and the other three were stunned for a moment before they followed Taurus Longjiao onto the spaceship. Lu Yiping took out a connate spirit vein and placed it in the core of the flying ship's array formation. The flying ship's array formation activated, and in an instant, the flying ship turned into a streak of black light and shot off into the distance. His speed was so fast that He Xia and the other three were left speechless. When they encountered some galactic storms, the spaceship did not go around them. Instead, it went straight through them. When the spaceship blasted through, the galactic storm that could instantly tear apart a peak late-stage planar lord and seriously injure an ordinary planar lord dissipated. Standing in the spaceship, He Xia and the other three were shocked when they saw the astral tempest dissipated. Could this spaceship be a supreme-grade acquired spiritual treasure? Not long after, they saw a white haze in front of them. When they got closer, He Xia and the other three could see that it was a shocking hailstorm. The hailstorm in this galaxy was incomparable to the hailstorm in this plane. Even a planar lord would be frozen into ice if they were touched by the hailstorm. However, the spaceship still blasted through it. When the spaceship plowed through the hailstorm that covered tens of thousands of li was blasted away. It was a spectacular sight from afar. The spaceship passed through the hailstorm unscathed and continued its journey. Just as Lu Yiping and the others were driving the ship towards the 9-star plane, Chao Hua, who had returned to the 9-star city, knelt in front of the 9-star hall, not daring to breathe. Standing in front of him was a majestic figure with 9 stars hovering above him. The stellar energy in his body surged like the sea. He was like the ruler of the starry sky. It was the 14th on the god list. The Lord of 9 stars, Yuan Jiahong. Although Yuan Jiahong wasn't in the top 10 of the god ranking list, even the top 10 didn't dare to underestimate him. After all, Yuan Jiahong's background was unfathomable. Yuan Jiahong stood with his hands clasped behind his back. There wasn't any anger on his face as he looked at the horizon. You're saying that not only did Lu Yiping not accept my invitation, but his slave trampled on my invitation? Chao Hua lowered his head and said nervously, "Yes, Lord. This lowly one doesn't dare to lie." Moreover, he said that if Lord dares to interfere with the hell-suppressing divine nation's matters, he will wring Lord's head off during Lord's banquet. A sharp glint flashed across Yuan Jiahong's eyes. He shook his head and said, There are indeed many arrogant and foolish people in this world. Back then, Song Yi also said that he would cut off my head, but in the end, he couldn't even withstand a punch from me. He was smashed into pieces by my fist. Even his flesh and blood were devoured by my astral beast. Song Yi was the expert ranked 33rd on the God ranking list who had challenged Yuan Jiahong. At this time, a somewhat effeminate young man in a flowery robe in the main hall said, "Lord, do you want me to go to the divine land and wring Lu Yiping's head off?" This young man was Lin Yidong, Yuan Jiahong's strongest subordinate. He was also an expert ranked 57th on the God ranking list. Yuan Jiahong waved his hand and said, "He's just an insignificant grasshopper. Let him jump for a while. This Lu guy thinks that he can challenge me just because he killed Fu Cangsheng. He's courting death. During the banquet, none of you are allowed to make a move. I will personally wring his head off." Lin Yidong nodded. Yuan Jiahong changed the topic and asked, "The people from the Xiankong Island and the Scattered Star Sea should be arriving soon, right?" The Xiankong Island was the second most powerful force in the Void Plane, second only to the Maha clan. The Scattered Star Sea was the third most powerful force in the Void Plane. This time, he had also invited experts from the Xiankong Island and the Scattered Star Sea to his banquet. They should be arriving soon. 3 days at most, Lin Yidong replied. "Okay. Be prepared to welcome them. Don't be rude," Yuan Jiahong said. Just as Nine Star City was preparing for Yuan Jiahong's birthday banquet, the northern sky of the Nine-Star Realm suddenly darkened. A spaceship tore open the realm wall and appeared in the sky. It was Lu Yiping's Black Dragon spaceship. Lu Yiping put away the Black Dragon spaceship and identified the direction. Then, he flew away with Taurus Longjiao and the others. After arriving at a nearby city, Lu Yiping inquired about the location of the ancient desolate forest. Lu Yiping and the Dragon Horn Golden Bull continued on their way. When night fell, Lu Yiping and the others finally arrived at the desolate forest. Under the night sky, the desolate forest was very foggy. Faint sounds of ferocious beasts could be heard coming from the depths of the forest. Other than ferocious beasts, there were also some strange sounds. Not long after Lu Yiping and the others entered the desolate forest, they saw a fire in front of them. When they walked over to take a look, they were surprised to see a group of 7 Spirit Fox clan disciples sitting around a bonfire, eating barbecued meat and drinking wine. This group of 7 Spirit Fox clan disciples were not weak. Some of them were in the divine spirit realm, while others were in the true immortal realm. There were 30 to 40 of them. The 7 Spirit Fox clan disciples obviously did not expect anyone to come over. They all stood up vigilantly. Chapter 218. Seeing the 7 Spirit Fox disciples tense and alert, Lu Yiping said, "We're just passing by. We don't have any other intentions." With that, he left with Taurus Longjiao and the others. The disciples of the 7 Spirit Fox clan heaved a sigh of relief when they saw Lu Yiping and the others leave. One of them said, "Senior Sister Jing, these people are so sneaky. They might have other intentions." Fang Jing shook her head. "It's better to avoid trouble. Just be vigilant. Our Lord of 9 Stars is challenging Lord Sun Jingda. I wonder if the news is true," a 7 Spirit Fox disciple suddenly said. "Lord Sun Jingda is ranked 10th on the God list. If our Lord of 9 Stars succeeds, won't she enter the top 10? Everyone exclaimed. Fang Jing nodded. "It should be true. The news has already spread. The Lord of 9 Stars wants to challenge Sun Jingda before the birthday banquet." At this point, his face was filled with excitement and worship. "I heard that the Lord of 9 Stars broke through not long ago and became an ancient god." "What? An ancient god? No wonder the Lord of 9 Stars dares to challenge Lord Sun Jingda." The 7 Spirit Fox disciples were all excited. Fang Jing sighed. Ever since the primordial age, there have been very few people in the 17 planes who have broken through to the ancient god realm. Once you comprehend the God Realm's law and break through to the ancient God Realm, you will be truly invincible. Not only will your lifespan increase greatly, but your strength will also reach an unimaginable level. Lu Yiping and the others didn't know what the 7 Spirit Fox disciples were talking about. After Lu Yiping left, they continued to fly deeper into the desolate forest. By now, the creation tree had grown to over 5 meters tall. and could sense if there were any creation tree chunks within 500 meters. Therefore, Lu Yiping didn't fly too fast. He flew slowly and sensed the creation tree chunks around him. At the same time, Lu Yiping activated his Eye of Thunder Punishment and scanned his surroundings. The ancient Desolation Forest was an extremely ancient forest that had existed since the ancient times. Lu Yiping felt that there were definitely many foundation tree blocks in this ancient Desolation Forest. In order to increase the chances of finding the building tree blocks, Lu Yiping released all of the planar lords from the Infinity Star Palace. He had them split into groups of 10 and spread out to search for the suspected building tree blocks. Not long after Lu Yiping's group started their search, they encountered a ferocious beast. This ferocious beast was a giant bear the size of a small hill. However, before this giant bear could approach, it was sent flying by Wuxia and the other three. Finally, in order to reduce the disturbance, the four masters of black evil released their auras. Immediately, the ferocious beasts were so frightened that they all fled in fear. After flying for half an hour, Lu Yiping suddenly received a message from one of the groups. "Lord, we found a tree block that looks like the one you mentioned." Lu Yiping was delighted. In a flash, he arrived beside the group of 10. However, when he saw the tree blocks in their hands, he couldn't help but feel disappointed. Although the tree blocks in their hands looked like the foundation tree blocks, they weren't. Lu Yiping's group continued to move forward. Suddenly, the foundation tree in Lu Yiping's body began to vibrate. "This is..." Lu Yiping was overjoyed. His figure flashed, and he arrived in front of a small hill in front of him. Then he punched the small hill, and at the bottom of the hill, there was a fist-sized piece of tree. It was the foundation tree block. Although it was only the size of a fist, Lu Yiping was still delighted. This proved that his previous guess was correct. There must be more foundation tree blocks in this desolate forest. Picking up the foundation tree block, Lu Yiping directly swallowed it and merged with it before continuing his search. The desolate forest was huge. With Lu Yiping's group speed, it would take them at least a month to finish searching. However, Lu Yiping wasn't in a hurry and continued his search. Not long after finding the first foundation tree block, Lu Yiping found another one. However, this one was even smaller, only the size of 2 thumbs. Lu Yiping was sweating profusely. Although it was only the size of 2 thumbs, Lu Yiping didn't let it go and merged it with the foundation tree. Now, for the sake of the foundation tree's growth and for the sake of his ability to travel between worlds, no matter how small it was, he treated it like a treasure. The night passed. The sky gradually brightened. After searching for an entire night, the harvest wasn't small. Lu Yiping found 6 foundation tree blocks, but they weren't big. The biggest one was only the size of 2 fists. In addition to the 6 foundation tree blocks found by Lu Yiping, Wuxia's group of 100,000 also found 2 foundation tree blocks. Moreover, both foundation tree blocks weren't small. One of them was more than a meter tall. Therefore, in just one night, the 5-meter-tall foundation tree had grown to more than 6 meters tall. This was even bigger than Lu Yiping's 1 year of watering. Of course, he hadn't watered it for a full year yet. As the foundation tree grew to more than 6 meters tall, its sensing range increased. It could now sense everything within 600 meters. After the sky brightened, the dense fog in the ancient desolate forest gradually brightened. Compared to the cold and gloomy desolate forest at night, the desolate forest in the morning was fresh, green, and full of vitality. Lu Yiping stood high in the sky and waved to the group of 100,000 existential plane rulers. Continue. After last night's harvest, Lu Yiping was now full of energy. "Everyone search well today," Lu Yiping said. "Tonight, I will treat everyone to the everlasting wine." Wuxia and the others immediately cheered, "Yes, sir." The sound waves shook the surrounding ancient trees, causing many green fruits to fall. Everyone continued. 100,000 people split into groups of 10. They spread out and advanced into the depths of the desolate forest. Just as Lu Yiping and the others continued to search for the foundation tree blocks, the 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciples, who had rested for the night, also began to advance into the depths of the desolate forest. This time they had entered the desolate forest to search for the fruit of a divine tree. However, after walking for half an hour, they couldn't help but feel puzzled. This was because they hadn't encountered a single ferocious beast. They didn't even encounter a weak ferocious beast. They didn't even hear the sounds of ferocious beasts, let alone their figures. It was as if the entire desolate forest had become empty. What's going on? Aren't there many ferocious beasts in the desolate forest? Why haven't we encountered a single one today? A seven-spirit fox clan's disciple asked in surprise. This caused the people, who were originally on high alert, to relax. Fang Jing was also puzzled. She said, "Did something happen in the desolate forest? Did all the ferocious beasts hide here?" Another seven-spirit fox clan's disciple suddenly said, "These ferocious beasts couldn't have been killed, right? Look, there are traces of ferocious beasts' blood." He pointed at a pool of blood in the sand. Fang Jing walked over to the pool of blood. She touched it and said, "They should have been killed last night." She then said with a grave expression, "An expert has entered the desolate forest. Everyone be careful and be vigilant. Once we find the item, we will immediately return to the seven-spirit fox clan." "Yes, senior sister Jing." Chapter 219. The sunlight continued to illuminate the ancient forest and the figures of Lu Yiping and the others who were working hard. Under the sunlight, the figures of Lu Yiping and the others were covered in a layer of golden light. As Lu Yiping and the others pushed forward, the sun slowly set in the west. At dusk, Lu Yiping asked everyone to stop. When Xie and the others stopped, Lu Yiping smiled and said, "Let's start a fire, roast meat and drink." Everyone cheered. Immediately, 10 people in a group started 10,000 bonfires. Then they sat in a circle, roasted meat and drank wine. The fragrance of meat and wine filled the air. The night gradually darkened, but the ancient forest became warmer. Lu Yiping, the dragon-horn golden bull, Xie, and the others sat together and ate the barbecued meat. Today's harvest was even better than last night's. They found 8 pieces last night and today they found more than 20 pieces. Perhaps it was because of the bright sunlight. To be exact, there were 23 pieces. Moreover, the big ones were 3 to 4 meters in size. After fusing with these 23 tree pieces, the creation tree had grown to more than 20 meters in height. More than 20 meters could already be considered a big tree. Now the creation tree was surrounded by primal chaos energy and specks of golden light. It was becoming more and more beautiful. Of course, it was also becoming more and more like the number 1 divine tree in the world. The patterns on the creation tree's leaves were also becoming clearer. These patterns were like heaven-splitting words, as if they were describing the principles of heaven and earth. Lu Yiping felt that these patterns hid a heaven-splitting cultivation technique. If he could successfully comprehend it, he could cultivate it together with the longevity art and the fortune jade disc, and his strength would increase by another step. However, the creation tree was only 20 meters in height, and the leaves had only grown a little. Therefore, this heaven-splitting cultivation technique was still incomplete. In order to complete this heaven-opening technique, he had to find more tree blocks as soon as possible. As for the Sun Fusang tree, Lu Yiping had also used the spring of life to water it. He had successfully cultivated it and planted it on a piece of Jiuqian soil. However, the Sun Fusang tree wasn't very useful to him. Therefore, Lu Yiping had allowed it to grow without wasting the spring of life on it. Just as Lu Yiping's group stopped to eat and drink, the 7 Spirit Fox Tribe's disciples also arrived. "Senior Sister Jing, look! Why are there so many flames in front of us?" A 7 Spirit Fox clan disciple exclaimed. Fang Jing and the other 7 Spirit Fox disciples looked over. When they saw that the forest was filled with fire, they were very surprised. Could it be that a large sect is here? A disciple was surprised. "Should we go up and take a look?" Fang Jing shook her head. "I don't know if he's a friend or a foe. Forget it, let's take a detour." She then led the 7 Spirit Fox clan's disciples to take a detour. However, even after taking a long detour, they still saw the fire. The further they went, the brighter the fire became. No matter how hard they tried, the 7 Spirit Fox clan's disciples couldn't avoid it. Why are there so many fire lights? How many people did this large sect send? The 7 Spirit Fox clan's disciples were shocked. "I'm afraid there are 30 to 40,000 people? Could they all be divine spirit realm experts? This ancient desolate forest is filled with ferocious beasts. Only divine spirit realm experts and above would dare to come here. Everyone was bewildered. 30 to 40,000 divine spirit realm experts were dispatched in one go. Only the 9-star world's top 10 super forces had this kind of strength. Fang Jing hesitated for a moment, then said, "Let's go up and greet them." She then added, "Everyone must be respectful. Don't show any disrespect." She then led the 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciples forward. As they got closer, Fang Jing saw the group sitting around the bonfire. When she saw Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, Heixia, and the others, she couldn't help but feel surprised. "It's you guys." The 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciples also recognized Lu Yiping, and they were all surprised. Wasn't this the young man they met last night? Last night they were still saying that these people were sneaky. After Fang Jing recovered from her surprise, she said to Lu Yiping, "I didn't expect to meet young master again." Lu Yiping smiled. "What a coincidence. Do you want to come over and have a seat?" Fang Jing didn't expect Lu Yiping to invite her. She hesitated for a moment, then shook her head. "Many thanks for young master's kindness. We still have something to look for." She then bid farewell and left. Fang Jing led the 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciples away, disappearing into the night. Fang Jing only let out a sigh of relief when they were far away. Those people seemed to be respectful to that young man. "I wonder which sex young master is that young man?" A 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciple asked in surprise. "Those people are very strong. They should be stronger than me." A late-stage True God Realm 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciple said. Everyone was shocked. "Senior Brother Mu, are you saying that they are peak late-stage True God Realm experts or even Heavenly God Realm experts?" A 7 Spirit Fox Clan's disciple said in disbelief. "How is that possible?" Fang Jing was also bewildered. The night deepened. After Lu Yiping and the others had eaten their fill, they continued to work in groups of 10. 7 days passed. After fusing with more than 100 tree pieces, the builder tree had grown to 110 meters tall. Every night when the sun set, Lu Yiping and the others would start a fire, drink, and eat meat. After eating their fill, they would continue to work. As the builder tree grew taller, its sensing range also increased. When it grew to 100 meters tall, its sensing range had expanded to 10 miles. As its sensing range had increased, the speed of searching increased. On the 10th day, Lu Yiping finally finished searching the entire desolate forest. After 10 days, Lu Yiping dug out all the builder tree's tree pieces that were hidden in every corner of the desolate forest. The builder tree had finally grown to 140 meters tall. The 140 meters tall builder tree needed more than 20 people to wrap their arms around its trunk. The tree trunk was as straight as a heavenly pillar. Chaos energy was rising around the tree trunk. Looking at it from afar, it made one's soul tremble. Even Taurus Longjiao couldn't help but sigh when he saw the 140 meters tall builder tree absorbing chaos energy. Lu Yiping realized that when the builder tree grew to 100 meters tall, his speed of comprehending the heavenly steel and cultivating the fortune jade discs Dao increased by a lot. Moreover, when the builder tree grew to 100 meters tall, its leaves were lush, and the heaven opening cultivation technique became more complete. Lu Yiping felt that when the builder tree grew to a height of 300 meters, he would be able to comprehend the heaven opening cultivation technique from the builder tree's leaves. After searching the desolate forest, Lu Yiping recalled the 100,000 planar lords back to the Wuji Star Palace. Then, he left the desolate forest with Taurus Longjiao and the others and went to a nearby city. When they arrived, almost everyone in the streets and alleys was talking about the Lord of 9 Stars challenge to Sun Zhengde, who was ranked 10th on the god list. The Lord of 9 Stars has issued a challenge, and Lord Sun Zhengde has already accepted it. The location is in the Purple Star Sea. Many experts have already rushed over. Chapter 220. Back then the Lord of 9 Stars killed Song Yi in the Purple Star Sea. Now she's challenging Lord Sun Zhengde to a duel in the Purple Star Sea. It goes without saying. This duel will definitely be spectacular. The experts of Xiankong Island and the Scattered Star Sea have all come to support Lord 9 Stars. Sounds of discussion rose and fell on the streets. "Oh, that kid Yuan Jiahong broke through to the ancient god realm and wants to challenge the top 10 on the god list," Taurus Longjiao said to Lu Yiping. Master, should we go and take a look? Lu Yiping shook his head. There's nothing to see. At this time, a family disciple in a nearby tea house said, There's one more thing. I don't know if you know, but the Lord of 9 Stars sent an invitation to Lu Yiping for her birthday banquet. Not only did Lu Yiping not accept it, but he even had his subordinates crush the invitation. He even attacked Lord Chao Hua, who delivered the invitation. Lord Chao Hua was kicked out. The crowd was in an uproar when they heard this. There's such a thing? This Lu Yiping doesn't know his place. The Lord of 9 Stars invited him, but his subordinates crushed the invitation and even attacked Lord Chao Hua. Everyone was filled with righteous indignation. Moreover, this Lu Yiping said to Lord Chao Hua that if the Lord of 9 Stars dares to interfere with the hell-suppressing divine nation's affairs, he'll wring the Lord of 9 Stars' head off during the banquet. The family disciple said. Instantly, the indignant crowd became even angrier. Some even slammed the table. Who the hell is this Lu Yiping? He just entered the god list. How dare he say he'll wring the Lord of 9 Stars' head off? The Lord of 9 Stars killed Song Yi with one move back then. This Lu Yiping is nothing in front of the Lord of 9 Stars. The family disciple continued. That's why the Lord of 9 Stars told Lord Lin Yidong that no one is allowed to make a move during the banquet. He wants to wring Lu Yiping's head off with his own hands and feed it to his astral beast. He Xie and the others frowned when they heard the discussion in the tea house. Master, are we going to 9 Star City now? Taurus Longjiao asked Lu Yiping. Lu Yiping shook his head. The birthday banquet is just around the corner. There's no hurry. The sky-setting mountain range was the largest mountain range in the 9 Star realm. It spanned across several regions, and was one of the oldest mountain ranges in the 9 Star realm. In the depths of the sky-setting mountain range, there were layers of restrictions and countless ferocious beasts. On this day, in the sky above the sky-fixing mountain range, several figures appeared. They were none other than Lu Yiping, Taurus Longjiao, and several others. Previously, Lu Yiping had bought the Myriad God token from the Secret Chamber of Commerce, but he hadn't gone to look for the Myriad Godmaster's cave abode. This was because the Myriad Godmaster's cave abode wasn't in Eternal Prime, but in the Set Sky Mountain range. Lu Yiping took out the Myriad Deities token and sensed the location of the cave abode. He then headed south of the sky-fixing mountain range with Taurus Longjiao and the rest. In the end, Lu Yiping's group arrived at a large mountain peak in the south. The mountain peak was filled with birdsong and fragrant flowers. He Xie's group even saw a rare 100-feathered bird. This 100-feathered bird's feathers had 100 different colors. Other than the 100-feathered bird, there were also other rare species. Lu Yiping stretched out his hand, and a drop of light dripped down, breaking the restrictions on the mountain peak. Then they arrived at the mountain's waist. Halfway up the mountain there was a large platform. From here, one could see the surrounding scenery of the valley. Under the sunlight, the mountain's scenery was beautiful. Lu Yiping arrived in front of a mountain wall and pressed his palm against it. In an instant the mountain wall collapsed, revealing a spatial tunnel. Lightning flashed at the entrance of the spatial tunnel. The destructive power contained in the lightning caused He Xie's group to feel their scalps go numb. However, Lu Yiping directly passed through the spatial tunnel. When Lu Yiping passed through, the destructive lightning stopped abruptly and disappeared without a trace. Taurus Longjiao followed behind Lu Yiping and entered the spatial tunnel. He Xie's group regained their senses and hurriedly followed. After passing through a long spatial tunnel, their eyes lit up as they arrived at a spacious space. In this space there were mountains and rivers. In front of the mountains there was a plain. The plain was filled with all kinds of spiritual herbs and divine trees. The divine trees were filled with sparkling fruits that flickered with light. As for the spiritual herbs, they were colorful. He Xie's group discovered that these spiritual herbs were all at least 1,000,000 years old. The 1,000,000 years old spiritual herbs were planted there. The sky was wide and the earth was wide. They swayed with the wind and emitted a fragrance. They were like wildflowers that no one picked. He Xie's group was stunned. They thought that they were in an illusion. The 1,000,000 years old spiritual herbs were growing there. They filled the entire plain. Moreover, the fruits on the divine trees were even more precious than these spiritual herbs. Lu Yiping came to the side of a divine tree and plucked a golden fruit. He took a bite and the fruit's fragrance splashed in his mouth. If you want, you can do it yourselves, Lu Yiping said to Heisie's group. Heisie's group was moved. However, when they came to the front of the divine tree, they were very careful when plucking the fruit. They were afraid of damaging the leaves. The leaves of these divine trees were also very precious. Seeing this, Lu Yiping smiled and walked into the plain. There was a small path in the plain that led directly to the mountain peak at the end of the plain. On the mountain peak there was a super large palace. The palace sat on the mountain peak and took up almost half of the mountain peak. It was the cave residence that the master of myriad gods built in the past. Taurus Longjiao followed Lu Yiping to the palace on the mountain peak. From the palace to the plain was filled with flowers and trees. It was incomparably beautiful and pleasing to the eye. Sucheng, this kid's taste is not bad. Taurus Longjiao looked at the million-years-old flowers and trees at the foot of the mountain and said with emotion, "The wind blows the flowers and the sun shines on the cow's body." Heisie's group wanted to pft, but they didn't dare to. Lu Yiping glanced at Taurus Longjiao's fur and said with a smile, "This is the Sunshine's golden retriever, right?" Taurus Longjiao was stunned and said with a smile, "Master's taste is still higher than Su Cheng's." Lu Yiping resisted the urge to kick this guy down the mountain. He then looked at the majestic palace in front of him. The myriad gods token in his hand surged with light and opened the palace's restrictions. He then stepped inside. The palace's floor was made of various divine jades, and the stone pillars were made of a type of primordial stone. There were all kinds of extravagant materials. On the walls of the palace, there were all kinds of divine statues, patterns, and runes. It was a soul-stirring sight. Lu Yiping and Taurus Longjiao arrived at the palace's treasury. When Lu Yiping pushed open the treasury's door, a dazzling light illuminated the entire mountain peak. There were countless heavenly treasures, divine weapons, divine pills, and all kinds of other treasures. Heisie's group was dazzled. As the master of myriad gods, Su Cheng's wealth was shocking. The treasuries of the current super forces couldn't compare. Not to mention the hell-suppressing divine kingdom and demon dragon palace, even the Lord of Nine Stars and the Maha clan couldn't compare. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.